Yes.
The fade out.
Dane.
Ooh, I like the fade out.
That's nice. And the fade in for Dane. There you go.
Hey.
So, Dane, they didn't have a 4-pack. They only had 3 for $5.33.
I mean, that works.
So,
That
there you go. I got you
Thank
3 of
you.
them.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Great way to start a show.
Yeah.
You guys ready to get sick?
Woo!
No.
Back in the house.
Hold on, I don't like that idea.
Oh, so good. Feels so good to be
Oh,
In
back.
boy.
celebration of the coronavirus, we are too
Nope,
soon.
don't want that.
Too soon.
Do not want that.
Feels good. It's Thursday.
Yeah,
Feels like this week has just flown by for me.
it has.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It really
It's
has.
been
You
like
weren't
a
here
very
for
short
like
week.
2 days. You were sick.
My week started
Yeah.
same day everybody else
Yeah,
is on
yeah.
Monday.
And yet
Yeah.
here we are.
Yeah. Well,
I did get to sleep Monday. So that
you
was nice.
missed the main show.
I did
so
miss the
that
main
was
show.
that was a pretty big
Yeah.
ordeal.
I listened to it though. That was
yeah.
quite nice.
Nate sat in.
Nate did a great job.
Yes, he did.
Covered some
Welcome,
great topics.
Just wanted to say thanks to the Next Day fam for tuning in.
Next
Yeah.
Day Nation.
You know, it's great seeing, you know, the backing that we have behind each individual. You know, like Next Day Nate, for example, and the cult following that we have of the Next Day Nation.
Yeah. No, the Next Day Naters.
Yeah.
It's really great. I loved it. He added a good little lesson to the week.
Yeah.
And their events.
Well, and the
it was great
Idaho
to-
ones are called Nader Taters. I don't know.
the
if
Nader
you know
Taters.
that.
Yeah. Okay.
It's true.
Well, getting into this Q&A Thursdays, what
Yes.
this is the first hour is where we answer your detailing questions in any shape and form. And then once we get through the first hour, it's the fun half,
Things
which
get a little
means
kooky.
things get a little weird. We get a little loopy. It's almost
Morgan,
Friday.
please put those-
We
Um,
talk about Lifetime videos that involve Dane and Liz.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I mean,
There's quite a bit that goes on, and I'm sure if you're listening to this right now, you already know what's going to happen, and you're looking forward to that. But let's go ahead and get through the main work of answering some detailing questions.
That's right.
I like
Starting
that.
off, Hans goes in, jumping in 88 minutes before it starts. You came too soon.
Well, all right.
Frank Martinez
Moving
says, use the Gauntlet today. Very nice towel. Works very well. Frank, that's awesome to hear. We're glad that
Great
you're
to hear.
liking
It was really
you're
great.
liking the Gauntlet. Ricky Cologne says, driving home from work under a rainstorm during rush hour, but I'm sure I'll make it to the podcast start.
Glad to hear it.
Hopefully you made
Excellent.
it. We got Garage Logician,
Ooh.
a new name that I have not seen
Yeah,
here.
right.
It's like a new
Yeah.
On
listener.
Q&A Thursdays, a new listener, longtime listener, maybe first-time commenter, says, what is your opinion of touchless automatic, Jesus, Dane, this is you, touchless automatic car washes for quick winter washes? I know a coating like OptiCoat Pro Plus would be best, but what would be the best sealant wax combo to stand up to this? I typically do an O&R washes in some combo of OCW, Optimum Car Wax, with OptiSeal and or Beadmaker, but sometimes you just need a quick wash, and I want to get the salt off the underside. Interested in trying WOWOs. Dane, tackle all of that.
Okay, so I'll be the first to admit I am very guilty of taking my car through automatic car washes. However, I do opt for the touchless rather than the brushed ones, although I do understand that when you're touchless, they have to make up for the lack of brushes by using stronger chemicals.
And Dane,
that
what is
can
it-
affect your protection on your car.
And
But
what do you have on there?
I have OptiCoat Pro Plus.
Wow.
So there's a
great.
video about it on the
Very
Red
nice.
Company channel. You can watch Ivan and Co there apply it. So
I think
Co
Co is Sylvie.
Co
his
is
wife.
Sylvie, but we had Morgan do some
Okay.
polishing on it. Like there was involvement, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
mostly Ivan and Sylvie. Any rate, car is covered in OptiCoat Pro Plus. Excellent stuff. And I'm super guilty of taking it through an automatic car wash when it's too filthy, and I just don't feel like going through the proper
yeah.
channels to detail it. I'm very guilty of that. I know you couldn't possibly think to do that, Morgan. You couldn't.
Dane,
do
I
that.
drove
You
the
guys couldn't
Suburban
do
through a
that.
car wash this morning.
When you do that, you're testing though.
Piece of cake.
You're
It's
testing.
easy.
So I will say the
Lots of
protection
brushes.
holds up better, but the downside is you can't do that forever because you will wear stuff down eventually.
So get to the answer. What's
Yeah.
the best sealant wax combo? Let's say they do put, maybe they're not going to put OptiCoat Pro Plus on their vehicle, but
Right.
they still want to be able to provide that winter sealant that is able to stand up against some car washes.
If they're interested in WOWOs, Crystal Sealant is tough as nails. That is really good, tough
Wow.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's fair to say it can hold up to some decent, chemical interference too.
It's got great chemical resistance.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I would feel pretty comfortable with that.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, whatever, if you want to throw a quick detail on top of that, something like that, that's an okay way to do it. But whatever you do, when you go through a car wash, have some kind of protection on the car before you set foot in one of those places. Because you want whatever's happening to the car's paint to be happening to the protection on top of your paint, not on your actual clear or your actual paint.
I like that. So we got Jeff C. says, when will the 15 by 24 gauntlets be back in stock? I love the 16 by 24 pluffles, but I didn't move fast enough when the gauntlets were thrown down.
They were thrown down.
Gauntlets will be here hopefully tomorrow, and they should be on the site by the weekend. If not, we will be getting a container in on Monday.
Yeah. They were a hot commodity.
We're kind of just keep an eye on the website. If they arrive tomorrow morning, we should have them on the site by the end of the day, and maybe we'll make a post or something if they are back in stock. But most likely, I'd always plan for probably Monday at the earliest.
Yeah. We tend to give a heads up, though, when stuff shows up. We try and
Dane, on those Red Bulls that I got you, where did those go?
Into the wonderful New Air fridge.
Oh, excellent.
I like it a lot. I like it a lot.
You guys can pick up one of those New Air fridges from our friends at newair.com. That's the Pepsi Rewind fridge. Use the code Levi50.
It's pretty rad.
And Levi50 off, and you get $50 off that thing.
Yeah, Morgan's been storing her multi-layer bean dip in the fridges.
It's been great. She actually has a fridge now in her office. So
bean dip. Well, it makes up for the fact that people are coming in here every 2 minutes. So my work disruption is...
That's what you get for putting a fridge in your office.
Yeah, why would you put that there?
That's what I get for my office being the
community room, like the podcast studio.
You will have a proper office soon enough.
I'm going to get a fish tank.
It's happening.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Danny Israel says, does WOWO's Crystal Sealant have UV inhibitors? Absolutely. So basically, WOWO's Crystal Sealant will have all the UV protection, UV inhibitors that you would expect out of a true sealant, out of something that is going to be able to deflect that. So the same thing with obviously the quick detailer as well. The quick detailer will have some UV inhibitors. TJ Sands says, what is the difference between Chinese and Korean towels?
There's a lot to that other than the obvious difference between country of origin. Traditionally, going back years and years, the perception was that Korean towels were higher quality than Chinese towels. Now, granted, today, the quality is caught up in China. The thing is, to really cut down on, I'm not going to talk for hours and hours on this. Basically, in the past, people went to China because they wanted something cheap. However, you can pay to go to a standard rather than build to a price. If you build to a standard, their quality can be every bit as good as something you get somewhere else. You just have to be willing to pay for it. And we want to make sure that when we produce stuff, no matter where it's produced, it's got to be high-end, high quality. We're not going to cut corners, so to speak.
Right. Well, and the other thing that a lot of people probably don't know is our Chinese towels are made with Korean yarn.
Yeah, fun fact.
Our Chinese towels are made with that Korean yarn, so they're able to have basically the same yarn content and quality that our Korean towels have.
And another fun fact, they're made mostly on European machinery, German machinery
they're all
in particular.
German machinery.
So when people get hung up on it's imported from Germany or it's this or it's that, the machinery oftentimes, there's only so many, methods of constructing this stuff. So
the point is, if you're buying some Chinese towels off of Alibaba, you're probably not going to get a really great quality towel because you're not... what's the word to say? You're not the main person doing the purchasing. Somebody else has purchased, or the factory's just made some towels.
Right.
And you're just buying what they have because they're trying to get rid of them.
If you're a smaller buyer, then you're only dealing in what they have. You can't afford to produce.
Right. And where we come in, we buy a large volume, which allows us to actually sit and talk about the quality of what we expect out of the factory.
We actually get to dictate how things are constructed.
Right. And our quality control is very high.
Well,
because of that.
Even when it reaches here, I think a lot of people forget stuff reaches here, it goes through several hands. Your order gets checked three times before it goes out if you order off our website. Pretty cool. Right. I don't know everybody trying that, but that is the truth.
Yep. Scott Weaver, Levi, I've been enjoying your last two videos with the Australian guy. You truly are a microfiber guru. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate that.
Here, fun thing we just did here. We signed a Rag Company sticker with all of the Rag Company.
Very horrible.
I was going to say, attempted
the podcast
to
team has signed this. This sticker will be going to the person with the best comment of the Q&A
We'll
session.
probably re-sign the sticker because that's.
I think we should just sign a different sticker with a Sharpie because that is.
Should we make a requirement that they actually have
really
to place an order?
It's a gel pen.
Or is that not? Is that cheating?
Because John's gonna kill you.
If we have to ship this one sticker out,
the first person to put that they want the sticker in their order gets it.
A signed sticker, yeah. First person to say, "Hey, I want a Rag Company sticker signed by the podcast crew." You get this exact crudely done sticker along with a high quality
and there are invoice numbers, so they will know exactly.
Just leave that in your order notes.
Future Prison, hey TRC fam, enjoyed the detox with Mark explaining the different microfibers. Might go check out his showroom as it's not too far from me.
Perfect.
Awesome. The other thing is Wowo's products became available in Australia.
Yes,
they did.
So for those of you guys waiting, they finally are there. So pick up some, and so Future Prison, when you go visit him, you could actually pick up some Wowo's products too, which is pretty awesome.
That's the truth.
TJ Sands, after you apply wax or sealant with a foam DA pad, should you clean them out or just put them in a plastic bag? I've tried cleaning them and never seemed to get all the wax or sealant out. I just leave them. I don't clean my pads when I'm done polishing a car.
No.
I usually just let them sit, and then when I go to do another vehicle, that's when I clean the pads, and I clean them pretty thoroughly. I just put Power Clean, spray a little Power Clean on the pad, use my pad washer. If you don't have a pad washer, I recommend spraying them with Power Clean and doing like we talked about last week. Just
rub them.
No, put them in a sink and soak them with some Dawn dishwashing detergent. It's a very easy, simple way to soak some pads and get them going. So that's probably the best thing you could do.
He's probably mostly concerned about it sitting for too long.
Yeah, Power Clean works just fine.
Yeah.
So Ryan Mulhern, I applied paint sealant about 5 months ago. I use Beatmaker as a drying aid about once a month. How can I tell when the paint sealant is gone if I keep topping with Beatmaker? Great question. You won't. Especially if you keep topping it with Beatmaker. You won't know.
It's diminishing returns when you top with too much
Beatmaker is basically infinite as long as you keep applying it. Once you stop applying Beatmaker, then you will rely on the what is your paint sealant that you put on.
Beadmaker is Thanos.
Yeah,
I'm just bearing in mind like that time you had that 3 Series. The guy came in, he was having quote unquote issues with Beadmaker. Turns out he had too many other toppers and random things on his paint. You had to get down through that, polish, clean it up, and start from scratch, and then it worked perfectly.
Yeah.
TJ Sands. Let's hear your Levi. Let's hear your shop's inventory of microfiber towels by usage.
Oh my!
All right. Well,
we'll start off 365s. That's it.
Yeah.
Done. Literally, I was gonna say if you're asking about the MOSHQ, 365s. That's it.
Drago.
I use twist loops for drying, and I use FTWs for Beadmaker, but everything is done with a 365.
If you had to pick just
at
one,
my detail shop. Hawks Detail, Masters of Shine. We used 365s for everything. We used creatures for final wipe downs and stuff. And then when we do a customer walk around, we would use an eagle. And we'd use an orange eagle edgeless as the customer walk around towel. And if I was selling a towel to a customer, I was selling them eagles and pluffles as drying towels in the 20 by 40 size. If I had dirtier jobs, I had 245s. I used 245s in black and yellow because those were my 2 easiest colors to use. Black for engines and wheels and tires, and then yellow for interiors. And then my coating towels were also yellow. So I'd get Edgeless 300s. That way, once they got coating, they became interior towels, and they were all the same color yellow, so it didn't matter. That's kind of how I did it. I didn't bother with window towels too much because each one of my employees was different at cleaning windows. So I just expected as long as the windows were streak-free and clean, they could use whatever combination they wanted to.
You gave them the options, and they picked.
They would come to the rag company with me, and they would pick out the towels. I would pay for them. But they would pick out the glass towels or towels they wanted to use. I had one guy that loved creatures. That's all he used for glass towels. I had another guy who used the premium glass. I had another guy who loved the Chinese glass, the standard glass. I had other guys that liked waffle weaves. So I let them basically utilize, but I also kept them to a standard that those were their glass towels. Those were those were their towels, and they needed to take care of them. They needed to make sure they were washed, they were cleaned. So I didn't really care about that as long as the glass was
They last a long time when they're treated
Yep.
right.
Adam Thurman says, let's do this.
Hey, Adam.
He also says, Ryan Mulhern, I'd imagine it's not even being touched if you've applied Beatmaker once a month. I have Beatmaker still on my vehicle that's 6 months old, behaving as it did day one.
Wow, Adam.
There you go.
Ed Iverson, Adam Thurman, what's up? Hello from Dayton. Delphine, hey guys, welcome back. What product would you use to get rid of the noise under my door seal?
Getting rid of noises?
What kind of noise, Delphine? I don't know what that means. Is it a whistling?
I think she has a seal that lives in her door.
Seal?
Yeah, it's like
That's
a barking,
like a loose seal.
yeah, like a loose.
I love Arrested Development.
Okay.
Scott Weaver, have you ever
Okay.
considered a package containing one of every type of towel that you sell? Fun fact, Scott, we do have one of those. It's like the Platinum kit.
It's close to every
Pretty
towel that we
close
sell.
to one of everything, but realistically, if you buy a Platinum kit and you buy a Silver kit, you pretty much get every towel
Cover a lot of bases.
for detailing that we sell. Now, if you want silver infused, if you want to get some of the lovely facial cloths
Yeah.
and makeup removal towels,
Yeah.
if you want a selection of lens cloths or buttersoft suedes,
Yeah. Speaking my language here.
if you want a head turban for your hair,
Yeah.
like
Wow.
for
Hair
when you get out of
turban.
hair turban,
Just a hair
when you get out of the shower, put that on there.
Yeah.
We sell a lot more
we don't
than
sell
just
those.
detailing
If you want like a
towels.
mop, we have many mops on the clearance section
Yeah.
available for sale. So yeah, like Dane says, we sell a lot of different stuff. So realistically, for detailing, Silver kit, Platinum kit basically covers most of it. Now we would need to update because we do have a couple new towels. Gauntlet's not in there.
Right.
There's probably some of the 350s aren't in there. Eagle 350s. I don't think the Warhawk, the 600 is in there.
Right, yeah. I mean, you got some stuff that's not... the main thing is it's not literally every towel. It's basically every style of material with the microfiber weave.
Could
so
I
you have a lot of the various options.
Could I name drop a possible new towel that we would have because I love the name so much, or is it too soon?
I'd keep it close.
Okay,
That's
going to
be a fun one. People don't have to know about that special.
I'll keep it close.
We don't want anyone stealing it.
Based off one of my favorite fruits.
Mark Geddes. Oh wait, Jim Green.
Bananas.
Hey guys, used detailer shampoo for the first time this weekend. Just gone and absolutely loved
That's
it.
what I like to hear. That's nice, Jim. We got Mark said something inappropriate. Jeff said something inappropriate in response to Mark.
Yeah.
And then we got Kyle Henderson in the house.
Kyle, what's up, buddy?
Hey,
I just sent you an email.
And says, "What's up, guys? Listening on my ride home. So we all know and love O&R as the go-to rinseless product because of the technology and R&D. But what about rinseless products from other companies?"
That's a great question, Kyle.
Yep.
So that's one of the things we are going to be kind of playing with going forward, is just checking out some of the other rinseless options. Now, a lot of people, you've got certain types of washes that do contain silicone.
Right.
They do contain perhaps a wax or something of that nature to help
some
aid
slick.
in some slickness. So that's what we want to try and just kind of play with and test, because we want to get more well-versed on other companies' rinseless washes. We've seen other companies that offer very high dilution ratios. So we do have a couple versions coming to us to play with.
But I know people get excited. We can't stress enough. Just because we happen to be trying something,
We're always
messing
testing.
around with it, there's never any guarantee that that will be a product that comes out for
Well, it's
sure.
like my manager at the car wash when I was 16 used to say, I'm always hiring and I'm always firing.
Keeps it
Yeah.
rotating. Just to keep you scared.
That's
okay.
right. Keep you on your toes. That's what we're doing with
Yikes.
chemicals and products. We're always hiring, always firing.
Edmund Iverson says, "TRC team, I'm going to have a booth at our local business expo in March.
Nice.
What's your opinion of best promo handout items?" Wow, that's a
Our
good question.
lens
Ed
cloths
Iverson.
are
Many thanks in
killer
advance.
items.
Stickers and lens cloths have been some of our best. At SEMA this year,
Yeah, air fresheners.
we added the air freshener.
Yes.
People are going to hang this in their car regardless.
Yeah.
Hopefully because it smells good.
Yeah.
They wouldn't
Yeah.
hang like one that's really stinky. But
The lens cloths are a good
price
move,
wise,
though.
these were $1. I think these were like 95 cents or something for us to order them. Stickers can be anywhere from 50 cents to $1. And then our lens cloths are quite possibly the best thing because so many
The
people.
most cost effective.
The most
You buy
cost
'em in bulk,
effective.
though.
Well,
Yeah.
you
You
buy
put
them in
your
bulk.
website on it. That's
if you
the
put your
thing.
logo on it, it is one of those great things. But a lot of people remember it because of that. They
Yeah.
love the lens.
Every
cloth.
time they go to clean a gauge or their rearview mirror or their glasses or their phone, your name is right there.
Fun fact is that
the other thing we talked about was for SEMA specifically lanyards.
At SEMA, when I was giving out lens cloths, right, my thing I say is, here's the most useful free thing you're going to get all week, right?
That's right.
And they take it and they say, oh, you're right? I had one guy, right, started walking by and I said, hey, here's the most useful free thing you're going to get all week. He looks at me, grabs a lens cloth out of my hand, reaches into his pocket, pulls out the lens cloth I gave him last year and holds them next to each other. And he's like, this is the one you gave me a year ago. And I take it with me everywhere. I'm like, amazing. Here's 6 more. Yeah. And so
I like you guys.
So basically
it was great. It was
a really great free
My
thing.
favorite was that first year when Dane sat at the little podium.
Yeah, and he goes, lens cloth?
And he just handed out lens cloths.
Lens cloth?
Yeah, and he'd do that, and he'd hold it up and just dangle it, but he'd be sitting there, and they'd be like, I'll take this candy from this baby.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. My favorite, though, was
it's like taunting.
That first year was great, and then that second year was hilarious when the marching band came through, when you were handing out lens cloths again.
I didn't see them coming. I gave one to one person.
25-member marching band that lined up.
You give one lens cloth to a person with a tuba, and they're like, oh, thank you. And then
it's all wiping his tuba with it.
50 of their compatriots all come rolling in and are like, oh, me too. And they just walk by and start grabbing without even asking. They're just like, womp, womp,
Morgan,
womp,
were you
womp.
handing out free lens cloths, stickers, and
people
air
really
fresheners?
love them because here's the thing: even if people don't have glasses that they wear every day, they have sunglasses, or they have electronic devices that they want to clean with,
Yeah.
So pretty much everyone can find a use.
And of course, Robbie from Wowo's was handing out free smells.
Oh
Yeah.
He was, yeah.
He was over there going, "Can I interest you? Can I interest you? Would you like a scent?" Would you like
He would hold it like right there.
Honestly, I couldn't believe how many people were actually smelling. It was amazing.
Oh, that
it was
smells
really
delicious.
cool.
Yeah,
It was
awesome.
bold.
That's when you get them and you throw them down with the lens cloth.
Yeah, and tie him to the car.
Yeah.
Or what?
Hans closes and says, it's live.
Finally,
we are
88 minutes
live.
later. Thanks.
It must be a day of grand ambassadors. We got Boss Auto Detailing in the house saying, hey, everyone, it's been cold and rainy here in Nashville lately, so I haven't been able to try too many Woes products yet, but the Quick Detailer smells amazing.
Yes, it does.
It does. There's no denying that. It's one of the better smelling products out there. Didrik, all the way
From Norway.
Hey,
He actually made a post on Facebook, and he said in Norwegian. He wrote it in Norwegian.
Yeah.
And I couldn't understand it.
Really?
So I had to put press C translation. But you, coming from a Viking background,
So fun fact, I've started watching YouTube videos on different sayings in Norwegian, just for fun.
Yeah.
I do the same thing with Dutch, just for fun.
Okay.
It's just so I can kind of get a couple little sayings under my belt. And
So what do you
things.
know so far?
I can't remember.
Oh shoot.
Eventually
Not
it'll
that-
stick. Just
Yeah.
not now.
The goal is to just try and get some. I need to get a little bit of German. I need to get a little more Dutch. I want to get a little bit of some Norwegian, maybe some Swedish. My sister speaks Swedish. So it's just some fun little, I just want to have a few. I have a little bit of Basque sayings that I've thrown down to the IK boys that they love. So just something. The problem is everyone over in Europe speaks many languages because you go, it's like driving from Boise to Utah. You're in another country, a whole other dialect.
Another beautiful country.
Another
And
beautiful country.
That's
Like-
just a small part of it, though. Then you got the regional accents and stuff that really put a spin on it, and then you're lost.
You look at like Patrick at the Rag Company Europe. He speaks 5 languages.
Yeah.
Like, amazing. I was talking to
In
Iban.
Europe, they just call that normal.
Right. I was talking to Iban from IK, and he was saying that his son wasn't practicing his German and French, and so they took away his Game Boy from him.
Ooh.
And I was like, what? That's amazing. Well, the Switch. He took the Switch. I think he took it with him to SEMA or something.
Well, you take the Switch and you put on like
And
a
he said, "I
parental
have a
control,
Switch
and then you set it
because
to French, and he
I
can't
took
change
it from my
He
son
has to
because
play
he's
in
not
French.
doing his German and French or something like that. So anyway, I was just like fascinated because like I took Spanish.
I also took Spanish. Tu madre es lechuga.
That's not a word. The
That
last
is,
one is.
yeah, lechuga is a word.
Yeah,
that is lettuce.
But that's what I mean. That's not a proper sentence.
Your mother is lettuce.
That's weird.
I
That makes sense.
I only remember one German phrase from a song I used to sing back in.
Ah,
Let's
du
hear
hast.
it. Let's hear
Was
it.
it du hast?
No, it's Ich
Du hast
will hier
mich?
bei der stehen. I don't know what it means. That's what it
Well,
was.
9.
Dane has said some horrible things. But ananyway,
Ich will hier bei
Didrik
der
says,
stehen.
The winter looks
That's all
like
I
it's
know.
giving up here at my place 2 months early. Then I can start cleaning and fix my cars for the summer. Looking forward to trying WoWo soon. Awesome, Didrik. We're so stoked. And I'm excited. Didrik's actually planning on bringing in a Norwegian contingent to Waxstock.
I like that idea.
It's going to be a diplomatic mission on behalf of the detailing industry.
That hurt me,
I'm
Dane.
very excited to spend time with all these Norsemen.
Yeah. Oklahoma Detailing with a great question. Can we see WoWo in stores?
Well, at
so
the Rag
you can
Company.
see it in stores at the Rag Company. You can see it in Glasgow. But as far as our other distributors, I don't know if you're here in the States or not, but in the States, you can find WoWos at the Rag Company on Amazon. You can find
Detailed
it at
Image.
Detailed Image.
Detailer's Domain.
A Detailer's Domain had it in a box. And then in Canada, I want to say it's Auto Obsessed has it. And then we have obviously AU Car Care Co. down in Australia. And
Clean and Shiny in
Clean
the
and
UK.
Shiny in the UK, Ride Company Europe. So there's a distribution list.
But
And
if you're
they're all-
talking about like an O'Reilly's or an AutoZone or something like that,
no, you wouldn't see it there.
No.
Wrecked Panhandle says, "What up, guys? Just here enjoying this 65 degrees in Huntington Beach. Perfect detailing weather. Wrecked, is that where you live? Is it in Huntington Beach?
Or he just happens to be there right now.
Because that's pretty close to obviously Chris West.
Yeah.
You know, with Solution Finish.
Yeah.
But
homeboy.
I recommend if you're in Huntington Beach hanging out, go down to the bungalow, or as some people call the bunghole when you live down there.
Oh,
No,
dear.
they call it that.
that
I'm not
helps,
just
but-
saying that. It's a fun like Hollister-ish style bar kind of adventure, but it feels like you're going into a Hollister like in the mall,
Yeah.
but they serve alcohol.
Huh.
It's a good time, but people
I'm
are
willing
very
to try it.
people are very rude there. Big Old Dog says, "Do you have a chart that lists all of your towel types, the specs, and the tasks they are best for doing?"
We don't technically have a chart.
But if you're looking for recommendations, it's not a bad idea for us to create some kind of cross-reference chart.
Get on it, Dane.
I'm not that
Oh,
kind of
oh,
graphics
oh,
guy.
Of course. Adam Thurman says, "Hey, Edmund Iverson, TRC fam, killer work on the Gauntlet. I am such a fan. Understanding it's a hybrid twist loop, it's like a double twistress pluffle merger or what? The pluffle I thought was a split fiber, not loop. Regardless, love that towel."
So, Adam, it's in the same way that the pluffle is a mixture of our waffle weave and our circular knit weave, the a la eagle, is what the pluffle is. The Gauntlet is actually a twist loop with the loops cut in some of those stripes. So one stripe is looped, the other stripe has the tops cut and brushed to create that plush effect.
I'm good. Thanks.
Again, 70-30 Korean microfiber. So very similar, but the weave is not quite circular knit weave, but very similar. So
Yeah.
that gives it that plush effect.
Yeah.
But it's basically just a twist loop with the top cut off.
Yeah.
That's how it's worked.
Yeah, I agree.
And then brushed to make it fluffy. So, Didrik, Hans, hearing it from the girls is one thing, but when Anthony tells you that you came too early, ha 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 ha.
No.
Hans, yes, very scary, Didrik.
Oh,
And then
that's
Didrik
not what I
also
meant.
laughed.
Back to detailing.
Ian says, "Hey guys, loving your videos. Just wanted to know if you'll be attending Waxstock this year. Yes, we are.
Yes.
New Look Limited. Toby, hey guys, hope you're all doing well. What's up,
Thanks,
dude?
you too.
Ricky Cologne made it. All right. Josh Randall. I just got home from Scottsdale Car Week. I had to witness one auction's chosen detailers wipe dust off auction cars down with distilled water, dirty microfibers. It was hard to watch. That's impressive, really, to see that. But there's a lot of great detailers there, so not all of them are bad.
No, but that's not an isolated incident. You will find that.
Ian Packness said, "Sorry I clicked send before I finished. I was going to ask if you'll be doing any talks at the show. Keep up the good work." Ian, we have been in talks with John Hull. We're working on trying to figure out if there's potential to do some sort of education option in the morning of or that first day, Saturday, prior to the show on Sunday.
That could be cool.
As to the show on Sunday, we will be around. We will be doing the same thing we were last year, where we're just kind of floating between the different booths, obviously between WoWo's and TRC Europe and Clean and Shiny. So we will be kind of bouncing around, saying hello to all our friends and doing that kind of stuff. But we haven't, it's still about 6 months away, so we've still got a lot of time to get this figured out. But our goal is to try and create some sort of education day that Saturday prior. Just like we were talking about the Norwegian contingent that's coming down, they also are looking to try and help with that to create an educational series, so to speak. So, Josh Randall, what's your guys' first choice for waterless washing? First
waterless
choice for waterless.
I mean, Wowo's has a waterless that we like.
So
using.
Wowo's waterless is great. It's dilutable 3-to-1. OptiCoat or OptiClean waterless wash is great as well. I don't do a lot of waterless washing, but when I do, I like to try and make sure that the car, one, is not super dirty. But I love using a waterless wash for pre-soak in the winter. So that's what I use waterless for most of the time. So, Mark Randovic, hi from Australia. We have water restrictions at the moment. I wanted to know, what is your microfiber recommendation for waterless washing? Again, love your stuff, by the way. So, who wants to answer that?
I mean, Morgan, you know this one pretty well. What's the safer way? What's
What
the
towel?
safer towels
What towel?
to use for that kind of thing?
For waterless, well, if you wanted to get matchy, which I like to get matchy. So if I was using Wowo's waterless wash, I would use a Golden Eagle.
Good
choice. Very nice. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming.
Very good choice. Yeah, it's about having the longer fibers so there's more room for the dirt and debris you pick up to have space not to be pushed against the paint.
Right.
Shorter pile equals more opportunities for you to grind something against the paint, especially if you're using too much pressure.
So I personally like the Creature.
I mean, yeah, general rule, you want to have a longer pile. The Creature gives you both options.
Yeah,
so you have that longer pile for initial wiping and then the secondary pile for that kind of clean second pass.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't have to be better to make the switch. It's just got to be different.
Sure.
JWL, absolutely loving Wowo's Showstopper. Could it be layered or applied under an LSP to make the amazing glass last longer?
As in you're like sealing it.
No, I think anything that you're going to put on the top of that's just going to wipe it right off, to be honest. I think that's the beauty of Showstopper is that that's what it is. That's all it does. It just adds gloss. And the beauty of it is that you can just put it on with every wash and enjoy the gloss every single time. But I understand.
Now, we will say it works best when it sits on top of either Quick Detailer or Crystal Sealant.
Yeah, it's amazing.
You get the most effect
You get the most effect out.
Because they use the same, a lot of the same chemistry to kind of create both of those. So we got Paul Foreman says, how do you guys clean your windshield wipers?
I replace them.
Fair.
No, I'm just kidding. I when I'm
time.
like when I'm washing, I clean under the wipers when I wash my car, and then I usually just give it a quick wipe, and then I leave it, and then I rinse them off. I don't ever physically clean my wipers, mostly because I wash a lot. Like I use my windshield washers.
I was like, wait, you guys are washing your wipers?
I've never cleaned my windshield wipers.
I only do it when I wash my car.
I do wipe the windshield wipers down if I notice they're just going to be smearing crap.
If
on my
they're
windshield.
chattering or they're streaking,
yeah, that would be a good reason why.
That's a good time to check it. One, you can use alcohol. Get a little alcohol wipe, or pour a little IPA alcohol on it and clean the blade, just to make sure there's nothing stuck to it, sap, bugs, things like that.
It's usually
clean
just
the blade and make sure that's it.
Stuck to it.
It may also just be so deteriorated. You got to remember, you should be changing your wiper blades every year. It should be a normal thing that you do.
If you go a whole year without changing them,
I've gone 3.
Nice. Well, your DD
and
is
I
little...
don't. I dailied that car for 2 years.
Oh, I'm talking about the Expedition.
No, but the goal is you want to try and change them every year.
Yeah,
so take care of them and just make sure. But I don't put stuff on the seal or any of that kind of stuff. So.
Well, and some windshield wipers come with like Expel on them or whatever. You get the ones that have like Rain-X and stuff like that. They'll have like basically a film they release when they're wiped on that helps a little, but can interfere sometimes.
All right,
you can.
Tim, you want to bring them down a little bit?
Yeah. Scroll down here.
Amir020.
There we go.
Do your rags also work with chloroform? Asking for a friend.
Bad idea.
No idea. Can't help you with that. You can try it out yourself.
That's a crime.
Yeah.
Honestly, kind of funny though.
Oh boy,
that is actually really funny. All right, Jed Samara, what's your thoughts on Ceramic Pro Gold? Is it install for $1,600 a good deal? Ceramic Pro Gold. That sounds about right on an 18 Mustang GT. I don't know who's installing it, or I try and make sure that the installer is a legit certified installer
Yeah, make sure
of
they have
Ceramic
the
Pro and they know how to do it
authorization.
and that they're good at that kind of stuff. Yeah, just make sure of that. Avalon King just wanted
Hey.
to say hi, and I love you, and I have a great week, and you're all handsome and gorgeous, and I love you.
Aw.
Buddy, we love you.
What a
Right
compliment.
back at you,
Yeah.
bud.
Rectangle, what towel would you guys go with for dealership work? Huge fleets. For what? Rectangle.
Probably the 365 again if you had to do the do-it-all towel. But the
Just wondering, are you
dealerships-
drying off cars?
Oh, that's a good point.
Are you doing wipe downs? Are you doing are you going into the showroom and doing a showroom shine? What's the question?
If they're feeling cheap and they don't want to, do something quote-unquote nicer, the car wash towel was designed for that kind of purpose, to be
Yep.
the do-it-all towel on a budget, but still not compromise in any kind of major way.
Yep. Avalon King says, "Give me that sticker." Big old dog, put the sticker in it, number 10 envelope, and mail it first class for a 47-cent stamp. Don't overthink it.
That's an option.
Mark Puffer says, "I will send you a self-addressed stamped envelope for the sticker." All right, here's the deal. If you send us self-addressed stamped envelopes to the Rag Company, 5430 West State Street, Boise, Idaho, 83703, we will put a sticker in it and send it back to you.
We will. Just write a
That's
little note.
true.
Write
You
a
went
little
to
note.
that
Just
kind of trouble,
send it to
we
us.
will send it back.
If it's just an empty self-addressed stamped envelope, we will throw a sticker back in and send it back to you. That
in
would be
fairness, include some
easy.
kind of note so that when they open it, they know
They're
what
like,
to do with
what
it.
is
Otherwise,
this?
they're going to like
your
open it
mom
and be like,
and your
it's
dad
empty,
are
and just
wondering
throw it
what are
away.
all
Throw it
these.
away.
Yeah, your mom will get them all, and she's like, "Why are all these people been sending
It's
it
a,
to you?" We're
it's
like,
a
"Oh."
not a bill or something. It's like,
Yeah.
The worst.
So, yeah. And then Super Ghost, does Beatmaker expire? Yes, like all good things, it does expire. I don't know when.
After a long time.
a long
haven't
time.
found it yet,
Yeah.
but
Mark Krause, do any of you have experience with Polish Angel stuff? How would you put their Rapid Wax against Beadmaker? Mark, I don't have any
no.
experience with Polish Angel.
Heard
so
of it,
I'm
though.
Sorry, I can't help you. Grumpy Cloud, not a question. I just wanted to say I love the Gauntlet.
oh,
Tried it for the first time yesterday. Super towel.
it's a beast.
We're excited to hear that.
Yeah.
And Amir saying that Morgan's bored.
Oh,
Amir,
Am I, or am I just disturbed by the things going on here, including
You-
yourself talking about chloroform? I'm
you
not going
did
to
ask a question, Amir, about
Yep.
chloroform. So
and hey, sometimes people's resting faces. It's just the way it goes,
That,
right?
That's weird. So he's the guy that asked about chloroform, then brings up Morgan.
Yeah.
Amir,
Yeah, I
what are
feel
you saying?
slightly
Yeah.
uncomfortable now.
This
so-
feels like it's going a questionable direction. All right, scroll
All right,
down,
Tim,
please.
bring it
Somebody
on
get
down.
these Reese's Pieces away from me. These things are.
Make
Why do you
Well,
have a
you're
small
either going to
bag?
eat the Reese's Pieces or
What?
you're going to eat the rest of Levi's cookies. So
I got my cookies
Get
over
these
here.
away from me.
There are several more questions below
puts
Amir.
literally a half
020.
cup in his mouth.
Okay, if he's not going to scroll down, I'm going to try and find the comments here. All right. Okay, so next question, big old dog. Did you know scent smells are shown to be the strongest memory triggers in humans that exist?
did.
Actually, Levi pushes that a lot when he's talking about WoWo stuff because you want to develop that kind of memory with your kids detailing out in the driveway, that kind of thing. You've talked about that before.
We want you to feel relaxed when you're doing it, and aromatherapy is a huge deal of that. And a lot of people spend a lot of money to figure out that stuff. And the point is, if it's something that you like the smell of and it makes you feel good, you're going to do more of it because you like it.
Which one's next?
So
Yeah.
Delphine there.
Delphine, hello, says, let me explain. My door rubber seal makes a squeaky noise at low speed. I think you meant squeaky, maybe. This part is removable. What product can I use to lubricate it?
No.
Try water-based dressing.
Yeah, just water-based dressing.
See if you can get like a dressing on there just to kind of soften it up.
Yeah.
Do
Right
that.
about the how about
We're
Spanish
back, we're
question,
back.
Tim.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
perfect.
so we got George Zapata says, hello from sunny San Clemente.
San Clemente.
Right? Is that what normally he said?
I think it's
so.
usually it.
I
He
think
says,
it says
how,
hola from San
he says,
Clemente.
how about Spanish?
Yeah, we've all
I've
about that.
spoken Spanish fluently,
That's-
as you guys have seen.
That's probably the most commonly taught second language around, here
in
for
the
schools.
U.S. Mostly because
Yeah.
we got Mexico.
Yeah.
We got Mark Geddes says, hi guys and Morgan. Down the line, would you do more new colors on the Edgeless 365 and the Creature?
I hope so.
Fun fact, we used to do all the colors of the rainbow for the Creature and the Spectrum.
It's expensive to produce a lot of different colors.
Remember that bright orange?
Because everything is
And the
all
light
about
orange.
volume. So if you ever wonder, you go to like a big box store and they only have one color of towels, and why it's so cheap, it's because they only make that one color of towel.
Yeah.
One size, one GSM, one blend, and they produce the hell out of it, but it's only one. As soon as you introduce a second color, whoop, it's going to cost you more. So offering a lot of different colors, if they don't sell, it's a tough proposition. So we've carried a lot of colors before, but eventually we do kind of go through and kind of weed out the ones that just don't sell, and we keep the ones that do.
Yep.
That's the reality of it.
We used to have a lot of them, and if you go back into my Instagram page, you can see there's a part where I took a picture of all the spectrums laid out, which are basically an edged Creature, and all the different colors that were available at the time. That was a fun time. But again, like Dane said, some of you guys aren't buying those colors, so it didn't make sense for us to carry them. So possibly we do like the minimalist style of creating a couple different colorways, and then possibly with the future of adding another color.
Yeah.
The 365 is an easy towel to make that in.
Yeah, more so than others.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, we kind of go where the demand's going to be.
Yeah.
If there is a demand for it and enough people ask for it, if they make like a petition and say, we want this color, we can't stop you. You know, if you got a good idea, maybe we'll roll with it. But you got to let us know. That's the big thing.
We got Viger Auto Detailing says, hey, sorry I'm late, watching the 300 movie.
Okay.
No, he's washing a Chrysler 300S.
Dang it, I was off. 300 is also a great movie.
One of Dane's favorite personal cars, the Chrysler 300S.
Yeah.
That is based on
And one of Dane's
nothing.
personal favorite actors, Gerard Butler.
Yep. Big fan.
I do like the 300.
He has
though.
posters of him in his room.
Hans Closen says, you can't learn every language. But yeah, I went to Belgium past Sunday for my IDA SV. A lot of French-speaking people there. I cannot understand it, but most spoke English.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And Hans speaks Dutch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big old dog, you need a chart on that website. It would facilitate ordering and clear up confusion, disappointment when people put the wrong towel type. Not hard to do. You're right, big old dog. The problem is we manufacture over 150 different types of towels. So
Well, and that's partly why he's saying that. Because he's looking for clarification.
It is, but that's why we created our little descriptor, little tool at the top of the page.
Flow chart.
Little flow
basically.
chart. You click on it, and it narrows down the options based on what you choose. That we put that in there kind of to help folks so that we're not having to
that's
give
like
you all the
chart right
options.
there.
It will narrow it down
It's
based
an
on
interactive chart.
what you need after it asks you 3 questions.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is if we put a towel out there and we put it in a chart and we say it's for this, then unfortunately a lot of people out there, they're so literal, they'll look at it and go, oh, I guess I can't use it for this other thing.
because I
Forgetting
use it for this thing.
forgetting that a towel is a towel, but some towels can be better for certain things. However, glass towels, there's a lot of options, but it's because different people like different kinds of behavior from a towel when they're working on windows. It's just one of those things. They do behave differently, and if we tried to get into every nuance of that, you'd be yawning like Levi is.
So true, Dane.
Good times.
Thanks for the kind words.
And I'm the guy who will talk it to death, so I'm just saying it.
Hans says 20 people there, 5 languages were spoken that day. Alan and I talked about it at the end of the day. Lol. Wrecked Panhandle says, yeah, I live in Huntington Beach. Been here my whole life. This bungalow thing must be in downtown. We don't recommend downtown at night. So it was actually on the beach. So like the main Huntington beach strip thing where they got kind of like the little shopping center. That's where the bungalow could be found, kind of near there. But my friend lives near the beach. But I guess Huntington is bigger than just that beachfront, right?
Yeah.
Technically. So we do have Tom says we do offer a product towel selection guide on our website.
There you
I
go.
think that's Amos Thomas.
Is that Amos Thomas?
Oh,
Amos
Oh,
Tamus?
yes.
What up?
So, yeah, his wife calls him Tom. we do offer a product towel selection guide on our website. So basically, it's just what are you looking for? It helps you find the towel for the job. You're on exterior. Oh, you want exterior polishing towels? There you go. Just follow that guide. I think a lot of people just jump straight to the search engine and get kind of confused that actually works pretty well.
Yep.
New Look Detailing Ltd says, Levi, if you need space, you can use my studio on the Friday for training.
Thank you, Toby. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Toby's in Coventry. So.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
G. Davis, would you relegate the Eagle applicator to another specific use after a sealant application, or is it good to go again after washing? I say it's fine.
Yeah.
Especially with the sealant, as long as there's not it's not crunchy or...
Yeah, it'll
you
clean
feel
out
it.
well
Yeah.
if you treat it appropriately. Like if you put it into a bucket of water or something right after using it, that's a great way to preserve it until you can fully clean it.
Yeah, so Toby says, I am located only a few miles from Waxstock. Has he been to that restaurant we went to?
Ooh.
Toby, have you been to the Cozy Club?
I love that.
Yeah.
That was
that was
great. We
awesome.
love that place.
A super
Awesome.
creepy little
It's right downtown,
shopping area.
right downtown Coventry.
Really creepy, made
in
me
the
super
center.
uncomfortable, but that place had some of the best drinks and burgers I've ever had.
Like,
You're
it was
like
right under
enjoying
Lady
it, and then you
Godiva.
step outside and you feel like you're going
It's
to
right
get
next to
stabbed
the
the second you
statue
step
of
out.
Lady Godiva.
Yeah, it was a strange, dark place. Anyways,
Remember that guy that was just hanging out?
Hanging out naked in his window. Yeah, that was
great.
awkward.
That was
yeah, we got Jeeper1738 says, in my opinion, the Gauntlet is too bulky. Understood that it is what most people want, difficult to wring out, clean up. Hopefully one day there will be a 16x16 version in ice gray too, like to be able to see dirt. Now, this is the reason why we have 150 different towels. Now, for Jeeper1738, in my opinion, IMO, right? In my opinion, I think that he should probably be using the double twistress.
Yeah.
That is a towel that you can wring out. That is a towel that can kind of keep coming back for more and more and more. Whereas the Gauntlet's meant to be a one-time, like you dry it and you're good. You've done the job. You don't need to wring it out.
You can wring it out, but it's going to take some work. I mean,
It's
there's no
thicker.
lie. We don't put any kind of false spin on it. We understand it's going to be more difficult. But
Well,
that's
and-
why we make so many different towels.
If you guys go back and watch like the most recent quail video that we made of us
Yeah.
on the quail that morning, there was a lot of water we were having to wipe off on those cars.
that morning
we were
mist.
using FTWs, double twistresses, and twist and shouts, and the winner was the FTWs
Yeah,
Yeah.
because of their size, and we were able to wring them out
and keep
and
going.
keep going,
Yeah.
which was really nice. And then the double twistress was the next one. So we kind of developed the Gauntlet, trying to think of what were the greatest attributes of the FTW in that drying situation, because the Gauntlet will be the towel that we're taking for Monterey for those morning wipe downs at the quail.
Yeah.
And what would be the best case scenario? Well, the double twistress was just a little too big. So then we made the Gauntlet to be a 15 by 24. And then the FTWs were a perfect size. But because we were increasing the thickness with the Gauntlet, we had to shrink the size a little bit better to kind of make it more manageable. We developed
Yeah.
this towel with a specific purpose. It's a great wheel drying towel. It's a great drying towel. It's a great perfect everything. We created the larger sizes because people want bigger sizes. But the point is, they're developed for specific reasons. And when we're going down to Monterey and we're wiping down $1 million cars, those towels are going to be there for that purpose.
The
And they're going to
difference-
try and make our job easier as well as helping out those customers
Yeah.
who are needing these wipe downs.
Yeah.
So-
I was going to say, it should go without saying that just because you introduce a new product, you're not saying past products are bad
Exactly.
or inferior. You're introducing a new product because there was a new demand or there was some
Well, we
kind
found
of demand
something that we were like, wow, we need to, if we could do this, if we
Fit
could
that
do
bill,
this,
yeah.
if we could do this.
So anytime we're introducing a new product, we're not saying that the previous stuff is all junk now and it has to go away. Not at all. And just because we introduce something new doesn't mean you have to get it. However, if it satisfies a need, it satisfies a need. And that's
well,
the
and you
important
got to
bit.
remember, a lot of our towels are created to fulfill a need or a want, and those towels work because of the instances in which we've had personal experiences with it, or we've gone to use the towels in a certain situation, and we found them to work best. We go through a lot of testing, and a lot of our trips aren't just trips to go on; they're actual R&D, easiest way to describe it. We're trying to figure that stuff out as well to make something better and easier to use.
Yeah.
So
Sorry, Anthony. I didn't mean to
Spencer
steamroll
Randall,
you there.
what is your preferred towel to use with Beatmaker? Side note, Dane, you would look great in a Bronco.
Well, thank you. Anthony had a point about the previous comment. I just wanted to give him a chance to fill in on that, since he seemed like he had something he wanted to say.
All I wanted to say is that in Monterey, right, I was going from supercar to supercar, and I was wringing out an FTW. I want to point out that I wrung out an FTW after wiping down a 675 LT, and then I walked over to a LaFerrari with that wrung out towel and wiped down the LaFerrari and wrung that towel out. And I was thinking to myself, it'd be nice if I had just a little more of an absorbent towel so I wasn't wringing these things out and using them on these cars that I can't even afford to stand around. But it made me think, the FTW
Well, we
did
think
great,
about that stuff, and we come back and we all brainstorm.
And
I'm
I'm
like,
jelly because he wiped down the one of one P72 by Dave Tomaso.
who knows
Well,
what that is, Dane?
Awesome car.
Dane
yeah,
Awesome,
Tomato.
awesome
the
car.
Dane Tomato. All right, so here we go. A great question from
G. Davis.
Spencer Randall.
Already answered that one.
From G. Davis, a great question. Actually, a great comment says, guys, please save your chloroform question for hour 2. Thanks.
That's
Doing
in
the
9
Lord's
minutes.
work there, G.
Wilson 502, hello TRC. I purchased some Beatmaker recently, and I was wondering if I should use it as a drying aid exclusively. If I already have OptiSeal on the car, or if I should completely coat my car with it.
Oof.
Yes, all those things.
Okay.
I mean, you can.
You can. Yeah, you're totally fine too.
Just get after it.
Everybody knows
Yeah.
what I say. I love OptiSeal left overnight, topped with Beatmaker. It's a great combination. Let the OptiSeal sit overnight, wipe it off, spray Beatmaker on top. Good to go.
It's tough and it looks really good.
Yep. Boss Auto Detailing. Directed at
We gotta
Anthony.
scroll down. And scrolling.
We've lost him. Oh, there we go.
Tim's there.
Here we go.
Auto
Boss Auto
Detailing.
Anthony, you mentioned you went to Guitar Center on the main show. What instrument do you play? I play bass guitar. I play the drums. I've been playing the drums for 15 years and still going strong. The wife, I think she's ready to have a drum set out of her house, but I refuse to give up what I love, and I don't want to play an electric
Don't let
drum
that
set
part of
anytime
you
soon.
die. You got to maintain that.
I
You
know.
should maybe
Like,
soundproof the room.
I got Hadley. Great product. Got it for Christmas. Bought it at Ross for $5.
Whoa. What is this?
I almost bought them for Anthony, but Hadley really loved them. That was a Christmas present. Couple AA batteries.
Are they sticks? Or
They're just drumsticks with
There's-
microphones on them, or
Oh.
with speakers on them.
Yeah.
And you just tap the air.
Yeah, no, fun fact. Katie got me those for Christmas.
Sharper image.
She was
Sharper
hoping-
image,
Yeah.
Sharper image, black air drum things,
Oh,
right?
Man.
They would have been amazing if one of them didn't show up broken, and one of them just didn't work out of the box. So all I have is a snare drum.
It's
So
just like a broken wand.
I just whack, 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 and that's all it does.
That's
But yeah, oh well. Kyle Henderson says, "Oh man, Reese's Pieces are my jam." Speaking of O&R, rinseless, for my earlier question, how important do you think it is to pre-rinse a car prior to O&R pre-spray, then O&R wash? Because I only do this on my own car. I always pressure
From above. I always
from
pressure wash
above.
first.
Pressure wash first.
So we've always done something as a pre-rinse. We always either use a multi-sprayer with O&R. In the wintertime up here, up in the north, I use, like I've stated, I use OptiClean or Wowo's Waterless as a pre-soak. And then that way it can start encapsulating and emulsifying and breaking down the dirt and stuff that's on the surface, and then go over it with the O&R. I do have some cars where I've got to get the heavy dirt off, then I pressure wash. And then just pull it into the garage and do O&R. So it's up to you, man. It's easy. It's personal preference. Whatever's easiest and fastest for yourself. And what your muscle memory, at the end of the day, it's muscle memory on what your body is able to do. So
Fair.
Wilson 502, I use the green stuff personally. I always pre-spray the car with the
newest
green
Adam
stuff.
Thurman.
Adam.
At the standard dilution. There you go, Wilson. Adam Thurman. Anthony, I enjoyed your matte vehicle care discussion on Monday's main show.
Woo!
Thought-provoking. I've never touched matte before, and that got me wondering how I'd maintain a matte finish.
It's good to think about it before you end up coming across it. So
Yeah, and you know, Matt and I had a truck or a van come in with a matte wrapped hood, And after we removed all the bugs and cleaned it and scrubbed it, we went to put a sealant on it. And the sealant we were putting on didn't work. And thankfully, at that time, we had some Swissvax matte wax. And so we were able to put some Swissvax matte wax on the wrapped hood, and it was able to really give it a nice finish and nice glow. That was one of the reasons switching over to the Optimum products, because all of them were safe for matte finishes as well.
No, it's a good move. Makes sense.
Sorry,
Uh-oh.
guys.
Don't die there, buddy. All right.
Hans, careful with partitions. Someone might demand something strange. I don't know what that means. Robbie Shaw just placed an order last night for Wowo's Fallout and the Gauntlet towel, as well as a few other things. Can't wait to try them out. Enjoy getting to catch the live Q&A. You're welcome,
Glad you're
Robbie.
here, Robbie. Thank you.
All right, Morgan. Kevin Rodriguez.
Kevin Rodriguez 0823. Hey guys, I'm trying to figure out if a mobile setup or brick and mortar place would work better for a detailing business and can't decide. Is it possible to have both and maybe charge a fee to travel?
Ivan did that.
What do you guys think?
Well,
I'm not going to answer that.
okay. So
Anything's possible.
are you just starting out, or do you already have a business plan in place and he's like trying to figure out how to implement it?
So let's put it this way.
Yeah.
Change it around. Morgan.
Yeah.
Your current situation with Morgan Details
Yeah.
as what you're doing out of your garage. Most folks come to you, correct?
Yeah.
So you're technically your clientele have no problem driving to see you, right? And dropping their car off with you. Have you ever been asked to come to their house? Okay.
No.
Anthony, you work out of your garage when you can. What do you do based on your situation and your clientele?
So basically, unless it is a house that I'm going to that either is going to have more room or just provide a better environment for what I'm trying to do, I will do it at my own house where I have all of my tools and things like that there. People will come to me, no questions asked. It's only in the situation where I say, hey, I'm doing multiple vehicles, or it's an environmental thing where, the garage is warmer, I have access to all the things I need. I can do everything I need there without having to worry about the car. If I'm staying there a weekend or going over there and do like a 2-day job, sometimes I don't want to have a car in my garage for 2 days. Right. So I will work around those things, but it's very situational. It really just depends on what the job is, what the car is, and what I'm doing. I mean, but I would say my home base would be my first instinct, and then going outside of that would be traveling.
Okay, so if you were to make this in a legitimate business, what would be your game plan? Let's say you couldn't use your garage, and you were going to create all day's detailing.
Do a shop location or...
Would you start
Be
mobile,
mobile.
or would you look for a shop location? How
I
would you
would,
do that, based on the current situation that you have with the current clientele that you've created over the last few years.
And then the shop situation is pretty realistic to jump into a shop, or is it something I have to work towards?
Just you have a business that you're deciding to create.
Okay, then honestly,
let's just say you got a loan for $10,000.
okay.
Both of you each got a loan for $10,000.
Okay.
What would be your choice?
I would just go mobile. I would go probably start doing mobile right off the bat, and I would probably do that until I built up enough clientele or I've built up enough revenue and things like that to where I can see myself in a shop. It's going to be cheaper for me to be mobile than it is to, in my opinion, run a shop. If I'm running a cheap vehicle going and I'm calculating my driving time and how much I'm doing and how much I'm making per job, whereas paying rent, right? I'm paying a car payment. Maybe my car's paid off. Maybe I already have all of my equipment versus paying a shop rate and may not have all those jobs booked. So
that also depends on the jobs that you're booking. If you're doing retail customers and that's it, and you're not planning on going after dealerships or any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, if you're working on more
I mean, it really just depends. Like I said, if I'm based off my current setup right now that I have, I would probably say it'd probably make more sense for me to go mobile. But if it was me and another person, right, and we were pulling in quite a few jobs and had quite a few clients, or I pulled in like dealership work. Yeah. And then I had consistent stuff. A shop would make more sense because I would be paying the bills, my overhead and all those different costs. But if I didn't have that, I might be pocketing more money driving a car and just doing it that way.
Morgan?
I would say pretty much the same thing, because obviously it would be nicer to have a shop where you just show up to every day and do what you need there, and then that's it. But cost-wise, especially if you're just starting out trying to build clients, then I would do mobile.
I mean, you have to think about it. If you're running a shop, right? And if you didn't get the homie hookup, like we know a lot of people, they'll get a hookup where they're paying, maybe $500, $1,000 a month for a shop, right? And that's maybe how it was several years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, you're paying $2,000 to $2,500 for a shop, right? And that's your monthly rate. Whereas I think that realistically, I probably have a lower cost in me doing mobile driving than paying that overhead of that.
Dane?
Well, I wanted to chip in because, as you know, I've been making videos here since the beginning.
Right.
And one video I remember in particular that was one of our first ones to get a lot of attention was Detox, where you and Ivan talked about mobile versus shop-based detailing.
Right.
And a big component that came up in that was, okay, if you're a beginner, mobile seems to make a lot of sense because you think the cost is lower and stuff, but Ivan is a man about efficiency, right? And a lot of people understand that. When you have a shop situation, you can host multiple vehicles rather than having to drive from vehicle to vehicle, because that's lost time,
Also
lost
correct,
revenue potential. When you're traveling between places, you pay for gas, you pay insurance on the car, just like you would pay rent on a building, stuff like that. I get it's cheaper, but you have to think about all the little things that add up. And, of course, traveling between places, there's potential for, oh no, I got in an accident and now I'm out of commission. I can't do the thing. If you have a building, chances are you're going to have a more stable environment for being able to do that.
Yes.
And I get mobile guys are going to be upset because they, hey, mobile's great. It treats me well. It's what I want to do. Great. Nothing wrong with that. Same thing goes for the shop guys who nobody should be looking down on anybody else for doing it the way they prefer. It's just you got to think about the variables involved. And he's asking because he's probably thinking about going one way or the other.
Right.
So it's all valid consideration, but I highly recommend you go back and you listen to what Levi and Ivan had to say about that, because there's a ton of valid info in there. You can learn a lot from those early detox.
Well, and when I started my shop, I had $10,000 to start my shop with. What I had going for me was the two other guys that had partnered with me that were basically my silent partners in it. They had rented a building. They were basically telling me, look, we rented the building because we want this property.
Mm-hmm.
We want to be able to utilize this property for storage for a lot of our other stuff.
Yeah.
But we're willing to rent it to you, create a detail shop.
Yeah.
You can detail our cars.
Yeah.
So you'll have that
Consistency.
I had 30 cars a month at $150 a car.
That works out.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, I had that locked in. That was what I was going to be making.
Yeah, that's good.
Then I bring in my clientele
Yeah.
that I had garnered over 15 years of running other people's shops and just people following me basically wherever I went. So I could bring them in.
Yep.
Then it was up to me to go out and find more business, create more business. It took me 6 months to double that 30 car a month right there. Well, not double, triple it, because I had to have 60 cars just for Matt.
And how do you make that work? You be more efficient.
I had to be more efficient, and I had to find and figure out what dealerships I wanted to work for. Now, detailing for dealerships, you can make money at it. It's hard work, but you can make money at it.
And once again, don't look down on it. There's a place for it, absolutely.
It's great in the winter to always have cars.
Yeah, keeps things going.
But the point is, part of me always thought, man, it'd be cool to do mobile stuff. Now, on certain jobs, I would do mobile if they were asked. But I always wanted to build a mobile rig, a fully inclusive mobile truck with hose reel, pressure wash, everything mounted on it, so I could just go do washes do some simple washes. And I dreamed of that. Now I'm detailing out of my garage again. I don't really like going out somewhere when I have everything
At your fingertips, yeah.
at my fingertips, in my space. I can go inside. I can wash my hands. My kids can come hang out with me.
Yeah.
I enjoy my situation now at arguably 40 years old, detailing from a fixed location.
Yeah.
I've always detailed from a fixed location, so it might just be a comfort thing. But I've always yearned and wanted to do the mobile thing.
It has its appeal and something new every day.
Each of us is different in how we would go about it, and it really breaks back down to what is your customer base and what is your clientele asking for.
Yeah. One example.
And then where do you live? What's the property value?
Yeah. It depends on where you live. So one example was there's a family owned company that started doing car washes and started doing detailing.
Yeah.
Some brothers, like a family. It was like a family thing.
Great little program.
It was the dad, and he had 3 sons, and they all wanted to start doing detailing, right? So he went out and bought this trailer, bought all the equipment, bought all the stuff, started teaching them. And, I went out there and taught him. You went out there and taught him. And they had such a cool little setup. Like their trailer had everything in it. It had shelving, but it was like you walked into a store. It was kind of cool the way they had it all set up. It was all segmented pretty nicely, and it almost felt like you were in a shop based off of all of the supplies that they had on them. And that is one hard part about mobile. And I explained the other time when I was doing that RX-7 is that you think you have all your stuff, and then you might forget a few things. And one pain is you forget one thing, you run out of compound, you have to have somebody bring you compound, or something like that happens. That's more time.
Yeah, it's just more waste.
More waste. And so I think that there's ways to do it to where you can have a full, nice mobile setup to where it can be very efficient.
Mobile unit is Octane Detailing, Chris Woolman.
Yeah.
Check out Octane Detailing's van, his Ford Transit van, the way he has his van laid out inside. It's quite possibly the best mobile rig ever created in the history of mankind.
Yeah.
Honestly. And he was a guy who was doing it on the side. Built this little side business and was mobile. And would go to people's houses, built a whole business while doing his normal job. This was a evenings and weekend business that he created for himself.
If you can make it work,
and
make it work.
Built quite possibly the best. I mean, Obsessed Garage, perfect.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like Parrish's setup too, with his mobile bike.
Our friend Steve
Yeah,
Parrish, who
very
does
Very
mobile
cool
bike
setup.
repair. So he is a mobile bike mechanic, and he set up his trailer to be an indoor little bike shop, but he can set it up.
There.
It's all there. He's got his air compressor, he's got heater, he's got a stereo, he's got
room to walk around.
He's
in it
got
and
everything in there. He's got his workbench.
It
he's
feels
got,
like you're in a shop.
Yeah, and then he's got his box or his shelving that has all the parts and every accessories he needs.
It's
Tubes.
like a
Yeah.
12-foot double axle trailer.
It's
or something,
perfect.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's perfect because it's not so big that it's just totally
Well, and
inconvenient,
what
but
he-
it's not a truck
yeah.
either, so you can have your normal vehicle
Yeah.
and tow it when you need it,
Well,
and then drive a
and he
normal
works
vehicle
great because
otherwise.
he's able to go to people's houses. He'll do tune-ups on all their bikes.
Yeah.
And while they're there, he'll sell detailing services to them as
Looks
well.
like you got a car there. I can do that.
You want me
Yeah.
to detail your car too? And they're like, oh, okay, like sure.
He's smart,
He's able to
really
do
smart.
all of it in one go. And he started out of a minivan.
Yeah.
So-
So, anyways, I
Yeah.
think it's preference. It depends on your clientele. Going back to the whole thing.
It's a fun topic, though. Yeah.
Where we go?
We're
Jeepers
weird.
1370 says big FTW fan for drawing.
Yep.
We got-
We missed the one above Jeepers.
Something about a casino I saw.
Yeah.
Oh, it says new look detailing says not yet. Mainly stick to the casino. May have to check. I think he's talking about the
Oh, yeah.
casino in
Okay.
the in Coventry.
The Rico Arena.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Rico Arena. Man, that is one heck of a casino.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun night.
It is like
It
Vegas
is-
in there.
No, when I tell people it's like Vegas, they're like, but they've never been to Vegas. They're like, no, it's not.
No, it was
Vegas
really
is-"
nice.
I'm like, no, guys, like you've done it.
It's the
You've
same
made-
experience, just smaller.
You've made Vegas underneath this building. So Corey W says, I purchased the I Want It All WOWOS kit in December and have tried almost every product. All have been fantastic! Exclamation point. The gloss and depth from Contact 121 is phenomenal. Keep up the great work. Wow,
Thanks, Corey.
I think
Thanks,
that,
Corey.
wow,
Much appreciated.
fantastic.
Love it. Vigor, ADA. The name is pronounced Vigor. It's just the UK
I
spelling.
think he called it Vigor.
Vigor. Igor.
Igor.
Mickey D,
Igor.
good afternoon, ladies and gents. My gauntlets just arrived. They look and feel awesome. Looking forward to trying them out. TRC is better than the best. Keep up the excellent work. Thanks,
thank
Mike.
you.
Thanks, Mike.
Wilson, thanks for the response, guys. I'll do the complete coating once I do my wash, clay, wax, and seal a few weeks down the road. Awesome. Gerald Rodriguez, I play Atama Superstar Classic. My double pedal work is okay.
Nice.
How's yours, Anthony? I'm a Death Thrash guy.
Oh man, I have Iron Cobras is what I have with wooden beaters on them. So wooden beaters and an aquarian head on my bass drum, so it gives a nice little like.
Can't hear that. Yeah. Oh, there we go.
It's like a nice. It's like
Yeah.
a whap. It's like a slap, but with like a thud.
There's
It
more
sounds
body
pretty nice.
to the sound.
I'm not really.
Slap thud.
I'm not really a bottom guy. I'm a top guy,
Yeah.
and so I'm
You're a power
basically
top.
I'm a power top. I have a lot more drive on the top than I do on the bottom, and so basically I can really.
Morgan, could you grab me one of those
I
Diet Pepsis
focus-
out of
I'd
the
love to.
New Air Pepsi throwback fridge?
I focus more on the cymbals
Appreciate it.
and hitting the top,
Yeah.
and just
Would you like it shaken?
basically.
No, thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I get that at home.
Yeah, my handwork is faster than my footwork. Is generally what
Fair.
it is.
Yeah, you're a great power
No,
top.
no
with good
fancy
handwork.
footwork here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so here we go. We got Hans Closen says air drumming. Yee goes great with air guitar. Also TRC band coming to all of you in Q3 of 2020. Yeah.
Jeeper 1378. Very weird seeing Yvonne with a black tie, talking about other than Optimum products.
I think it was just in some McKee's videos.
He was.
Yeah.
Mark Puffer, self-addressed stamped envelope in the mail, and now looking forward to the sticker. So we have to keep an eye out for that one. Hans Closer, Jeeper 1378. Yeah, I know you're right. When you see Ivan on the tube, your brain goes OPT, but in a while our brain will adapt.
Give it time.
Wilson 502. I had bought a Model 3, and the ONR wash wax clay wax seal was one of the first things I did when I bought it, since they are notorious for having soft clear coats.
Yeah.
Which is why you see a lot of them get coated. Correct. G. Davis, I've given up soda, but I must say the Mountain Dew Zero was very disappointing.
So G. Davis, I have to say that I am not that disappointed because here's the deal. I don't like Diet Mountain Dew. I think Diet Mountain Dew tastes very chemically.
So Carly is a big Diet Mountain Dew fan. Mommy Meme Jeans on Instagram. She's a big Diet Mountain Dew fan.
Yeah.
And I bought her one of these, just
Yeah.
a tall boy
Yeah.
of the Mountain Dew Zero for
Yeah.
her to try.
Yeah.
And she was like, whoa, this is like regular Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
She forgot about the full flavored aspect.
Yeah.
Kind of punched her in the face.
So that's where I mean, Diet Mountain Dew, it tastes like aspartame. Whereas I want to say they may have used sucralose to sweeten this. So basically what you got here.
What's the caffeine content?
Sucralose.
So you have sucralose and you have potassium. So yeah, sucralose is going to be obviously healthier than aspartame. We're looking at 68 milligrams caffeine.
Wow.
Which is not really that
this is
much.
35.
Like honestly
Almost
though,
double.
this would be like drinking 3 Monsters.
Well,
I don't think that's true, Anthony.
But I get more
Monster's
jacked
only
up.
There's no way. It's only 20.
3. I said, or sorry, 3 of these would be like one
Monster
Oh,
is
okay.
70
That's
milligrams.
that's a little bit
Yeah.
better.
and there's
yeah.
2 servings.
Yeah.
So 140 milligrams.
140 milligrams. So
Yeah.
that's half a Monster.
Wow. All right, so Boss
Yep.
Auto Detailing says, for those thinking they need a trailer and lots of stuff for mobile detailing, I do mobile detailing out of a Toyota Matrix, just doing rinseless wash. True.
It's a
true.
great business model.
Very true. A 5-gallon bucket of O&R and the cordless Sunjoe Bucket Joe. You can absolutely do that.
Yeah.
And that's actually great. That's fantastic. I mean, there's so many ways to do mobile detailing. It just depends on how crazy in depth you want to get and how much crap you want to carry around. That's why efficiency is so huge. That
Turn and burn.
like Dan Williams, right, formerly of OPT, now with Owner's Pride. When he sold his business to who's one of our California Auto Detailing, one of our other grand ambassadors that we had, he was doing the full Optimum. But the efficiency he had with that trailer made the most sense. He was the most efficient using the OPT system. And if you find a system that works for you and you stick with it and go with it, you're good to go. I think it's when you see the change and all the new products and things like that, and you start filling up your trailer more and more and more full of stuff, that's when things get a little bit more complicated. Another good example would be Summit Lab Auto Detailing out of Park City, Utah.
Yeah.
They use some of our goodies, and you'll see them wearing our T-shirts in some of their videos. But they started mobile. But with what cool part about their mobile idea was to get one van, start running one van, immediately purchase another van after they started making some money, got 2 vans, and then got their shop right while 2 vans were out running, right. And then got the shop, and now they have 3 vans.
Well, and nowadays with mobile technology, there's also the apps that you can purchase and use that then allow your customers to basically you lay out the parameters.
Yeah.
But they can literally schedule for you to come to them and what times and all that stuff. And I mean, just it's the
Huge time saver
Oh,
compared to
superior.
sitting there over the phone
yep,
trying
superior
to
now to have that
back
ability
forth.
and get that out of there.
So I got a picture here of my friend Chris. He took out the RX-7. It's the first drive since I detailed
Awesome.
it. It's the first time it left the garage, so I'll show everybody.
very nice.
Beautiful.
Is that-
That's so shiny.
Is that it?
Yeah, looks good.
Can you see it?
It's a shiny
HM
FD.
Auto Detailing, howdy,
Wow.
folks. Hans says, I'm not a mirror air freshener type of person, but I got a few TRC ones, and I loved that when you open them the first time, the scent is not strong like the trees are.
Yep.
Hang in there for about 2 weeks now. Still having that same soft scent. #best hanger.
Perfect.
G. Davis, it tastes like Diet Dew to me. They make very boastful claims that it tastes just like full-powered Dew. Jeff C. Levi, do you dilute waterless wash for a pre-spray? And are you washing with O&R? Yes and yes. Now, if I'm using waterless wash by WOWOs, I like to dilute it, 1-to-1 with water, preferably distilled water. Or I use OptiClean, and I just go straight with that. Or I buy concentrate that I dilute 3-to-1. So, easiest way to do it. And I use it in the IK Multi. Spray it on stuff.
Well, you should watch your bird bomb video on your Elantra. That's a good
watch that,
example. Yeah.
HM Auto Detailing, I use my Honda Civic. That's a perfect car for that.
Man, yeah.
Aaron's Random Life coming in hot.
With an appropriate comment.
Got pulled.
Bait
Bait Addict in the house.
Oh, man, dude, he's baiting hard with everybody.
Oh, no.
Says, hey, bait crew. Sorry, haven't been around for a while. Not feeling good today either. Just wanted to ask a question regarding crystal sealant. What's the real-life durability?
He has
Go
some more.
for it. Oh, yeah, he's followed
He's
up.
got some more follow-up
All right.
parts.
So, Bait Addict, we are saying...
Okay, or don't read it.
We're saying 9 months because it can be anywhere from 6 months to a year, depending on how it's cared for. So we're just split in the middle, saying 9 months. Now, longest I've physically had it on my car during testing was well over 6 months, and it was still on the surface.
Yeah, that is true.
And that's when I had to remove high spots.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that was after going through car washes.
Yeah.
So to do a proper long-term test and see where it's at, we can do that and try. But our best reference was at least 6 to 9 months. But we're saying it lasts for a year because if you put it on Anthony's Evo, it's lasting a year.
Yeah, I mean...
It gets O&R washes. It stays indoors. It's rarely driven. That will last well into almost 18 months territory.
Yeah, it would.
Because it's not, it's never...
The Opticoat Pro that I have on there is going to last a lifetime.
Yeah, literally.
As long as you own it.
Now, on the Civic, you put it on the Civic.
Yeah.
And you're 3 months into that
No,
almost?
I'm a little over 1 month is what I did. And so I just did my first... But, I mean, it was amazing. I mean, it was still beaded perfectly, and basically... rinsed off a lot of that debris and dirt and things like that I had on the traffic film that I had.
The dirty car.
The dirty car that I had. It rinsed it
AKA
off pretty easily,
car.
yeah.
So he says, Edmund Iverson, very happy to work from home too. Bait Addict, when compared to gloss coat as an example, I applied crystal sealant to a couple cars and don't have enough experience yet to talk about durability, so I thought I'd ask you guys. Great product, by the way, and it definitely provides a noticeable improvement on the finish. It's very glossy.
Yeah.
So yeah, like we said, it's designed to bond with clear. So it's going to be great on that surface. Again, 6 months to a year. We say 9 months because that's a perfect split in the middle, and that covers whatever, however they're going to throw it at it. Aaron's Random Life, I just couldn't let everyone see all the typos in my last comment. Boss Auto Detailing, Kyle Henderson, yes, if it's a very dirty vehicle, I will add O&R to a Bucket Joe. Pre-spray, blast dirt off. Also keeps me from having to deal with water spots. Perfect.
Yep, very true.
Bait Addict, hope you feel better soon, from Hans. G. Davis, got a call from my son's school today. They had a symposium on bullying. And when called upon for a solution, he said, kick the bully in the face and push him down a flight of stairs.
Yeah.
The Dane Hennen way.
Wow.
Oh, you make it sound like I did that a lot. I did that once. And
Dane,
never
Dane,
bullied me
all
again.
that had to be was once.
Well, in fairness, I let him bully me for 6 months before I
That's
turned
true.
to that
That was
option.
nice.
So there was a whole lot of leeway given until it was finally like...
And then Bait Addict brings it up. Also, it doesn't last very long on the glass, but I guess that's not what it was designed for. Correct. Just like Beatmaker, if you go back and you listen to like one of the OG podcasts with Dave Phillips talking about Beatmaker, Beatmaker wasn't designed to work on glass. And even Dave himself has said like it's barely going to last a month on glass. But if you're reapplying it every week with a wash, you're never going to hit that month lifespan, so to speak. Same with crystal sealant. You're going to put it on the surface now. Where we're hoping is that you use a product like Beadmaker or Quick Detailer during your daily as a drying aid. Preferably Quick Detailer if you're using crystal sealant, because you'll have the crystal sealant on the surface. Quick Detailer as your drying aid, and that will provide the protection that you need every week. So G. Davis says, Andy White, that RX-7 is almost as shiny as your Civic, Anthony. It
Almost.
looks great.
Thank you.
G. Davis's mom says has banned him from the Q&A.
Oh.
Poor boy. Talk about bullying, am I right? Troy Brugerman, how should I wash my car in the winter? I think that it's too dirty to wash with O&R, and I don't have water or a drain in my garage. Troy, fun thing. Luke Berge went to the car wash this weekend, local
Going
pay
to
and
the
spray,
car wash. Yeah,
and did a O&R wash
he did.
with a pressure washer
Yeah.
at the pay and spray. What did you do, Anthony? Did you go do that as well?
I did, yeah. Yeah, but I did a soap and water wash.
Nice.
Warm soap water and a little bit of detailer shampoo from the
Very
Wolos
nice.
detailing line.
How'd you do that?
How did I do that?
Yeah.
I brought a bucket of hot water with me with a Gamma Seal lid
Very nice.
sold at theragcompany.com.
Oh, lovely.
Grit Guard, Cyclone Wash Mitt, right?
Yeah.
Brought that with me in the back of my Honda Civic, my 1999
lovely,
Honda
lovely.
Civic.
Wow.
Pulled it out, and I grabbed a bag, a trash bag is what I do, and I throw all my towels and little trinkets and things like that I'm going to need to wash my car.
Mhm.
I got to the wash, pulled out the bag, pulled out the bucket, pre-sprayed the vehicle, right? And then I actually hit the lowers with a little bit of APC from the Wolos detailing line, right,
Very nice.
to loosen up a lot of that. Began the wash process, had an audience, which was fantastic, washed the car, dried the car with my
We're talking about homeless people.
my leaf blowing solution package.
Oh, you brought your leaf blower too. Wow.
yeah.
Leaf blower.
Yeah, I brought my ego blower because I needed to blow some egos that day.
Yeah.
well, he
So-
always brings his ego everywhere.
So Troy,
he
take
That's
notes.
true.
Yeah.
Grab yourself a bucket, hot water, soap, some towels, some accoutrements, some quick detailers, some APC.
If you want it
All
bad
those
enough,
things.
you'll
You
make
can-
it happen.
Yeah, you can go wash your car. Easy.
There you go.
Yeah.
Bait Addict, thanks, Hans. Thanks for answering the question, crew. See you guys next week for a full session. See you,
Woo.
Bader. Adams, Aaron's Random Life. Do you guys plan to continue carrying the Optimum products that you currently do? Yes.
Yeah.
Aaron, we're going to keep carrying them.
Yep.
Luke Berge says, looking fire today, Morgan.
Aw.
That's a nice compliment
That's
for
nice.
her.
Thanks, Luke.
Yeah.
And
What?
Dane, I see you're wearing your safety green today. I guess you're really going for that full trucker Dane.
I just want to make sure I don't get run over when I'm
That's
playing in
right.
He
traffic.
came down with a case of gangrene, as some would say.
Woo.
Han says, Luke, oh, behave. Yes, in that voice. G. Davis, Luke, please save that for the third hour. Rectangle, wait, what? Dan also left Optimum? Yes, so Dan works for Owner's Pride now, which we used to be a distributor of Optimum. They currently sell Rag Company towels. They also have their own private label line of products that they are bringing out as well.
Yep.
So they're actually sending us a care package, so we're going to play with their products and see what we
We'll
think with them.
find out what we think of them. Yeah.
JWL, have you ever had any chemical analysis to understand the role of a topper on refreshing a base sealant or coating? JWL, great question. We have not.
Not
However, PNS,
Yeah.
Yes.
when they brought out Beatmaker, they
They did have that done. They had that third party tested and done. It was very
And
interesting.
what they found was weekly application of Beatmaker allowed, with proper washing,
yeah.
with an application of Beatmaker as a topper every week, was able to increase the life of the ceramic coating by an extra 18 months.
That's huge.
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 Impressive.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
So yeah, the Beatmaker on top of whatever it was doing was able to extend the life. So in this sense, it was on a 3-year coating. They were able to extend the life by an extra 18 months. And they were weather
yeah.
testing this too in a lab, in a facility, under
Yeah.
all types of conditions.
So that was information that was educated to us. So I'm sure if you wanted to hear it from them, you're more
They
than
actually
welcome
did
to
it at
ask
the
them.
Obsessed Garage.
They did.
Yeah.
Advanced training that we did at Rupes.
It was funny because I think that's what like people are like. They're sitting here, get all these people that are like, I'm never going to use Beatmaker. I'm never going to use Beatmaker. And then they lay down that education. You can see them on their phones like, oh, crap, I got to place that order for Beatmaker right now.
I love the backlash. Like, if there's ever hype for something, there are people who will look at something and go,
Don't give in.
because people like that, I will choose to not like that, and I will never try it because
Yeah.
I'm under the
But
fear that I may
that
actually
product
But it
like
costs-
also,
that.
you
that
gotta-
product costs around $10. I'll never buy that.
It's
Well,
cheap
and
for
then
what
the
it
other
does.
thing, what was great was it came from Dave Phillips, the man who invented it.
Yeah.
And the chemist at PNS, who literally
Humble,
laid out
humble
the
man.
actual science of the product.
We have
So-
we have an episode on our podcast channel with Dave talking all about Beatmaker, and he goes into great detail
Yeah.
explaining
Yep.
the process that came with developing it, all that stuff. It's the most viewed video on our podcast channel for good reason. So
Yep.
go check it out.
Really great. So,
Luke Berge says, Hans. Okay, hold on. Hans Cozen
Actually,
says,
I didn't do
yep,
an
let's
O&R
do
wash. I
something
used
new.
O&Rs
Hans
pretty
says this. Okay, here we go. Y'all be savage, says Luke Berge. Boss Auto Detailing says, Anthony, have you seen the 15th anniversary Supra detail on Apex Details channel? I have not. Great looking Supra. Those are always my favorite Japanese sports cars besides the RX-7. I fell in love with the RX-7. Jimmy, one of our coworkers, our cameraman.
Oh, he can't stop thinking. He's talking about selling all his Miatas.
He's buying his 5th car, which would hopefully be. Well, obviously, we need to do what Jimmy's doing. I'm moving back in with my parents, and I am just going to buy a bunch of cars.
Eat Jimmy John's all day.
And eating Jimmy John's every day.
Work on my car.
Well, he just calls them Johns.
Because he's looking at an FDRX7 right now with about 26,000 miles, a USDM version that he's wanting to get. But the RX-7s are amazing. I love them. Yep. John Hull says, "Hey guys from New York." John Hull, what are you doing in New York?
So John and Amanda,
tell him to come over. What is he doing?
Landed in New York for a quick little holiday.
He's only a couple hours away from us.
You know, one of the best things, one of the neatest things that happened, I saw on their story posts.
What's that?
They found the New York Hard Rock.
Oh,
now we all know Amanda.
Her
She's
favorite
a hard rock fiend.
Hard rock.
She loves it. That's her goal in life, is to hit almost every hard rock around the planet. It's her favorite thing.
No, I believe she lives for the Hard Rock Cafe.
Sweet woman,
she loves
great lady, and really fun little group. So they are wandering around New York.
I think it's
hanging
the
out
vibes.
in Manhattan.
I think, but I agree that Hard Rock has great vibes.
It does.
It's a place you want to be. You're surrounded by Hall of Fame music. You're surrounded by great decor, great apparel, right? And just a culture that really is unmatched, other than comparing it to us here at the Rag Company.
We had a great time at the Hard Rock in Piccadilly Square.
Yes. We did. Fantastic time.
We were in London.
Honestly, we were there, and I'm like, if any of these shirts weren't 100% cotton, I'd be buying all of them, because these things will shrink and just won't look the same once I get home.
Yeah.
As a person who has basically just a great annoyance built in with chains, I vouch for Hard Rock. I love Hard Rock. It's fun.
What?
Yeah,
Dane,
I don't like
That's
going
not-
out
See,
to chain
Dane,
restaurants.
I don't
but
think
I
that's
do
right.
Hard Rock.
You can't make an exception. If you
can't.
want to put your foot down on the
The
whole
exception
chain thing.
proves the rule.
Tim, you want to bring it up there? Tim,
can you bring it up there?
all right. Aaron's Random Life is Mark Krause. What are your guys' favorite YouTube detailers?
Oh, yeah. Go around the horn.
Who
you got?
but somebody's giving a G6 a good
Oh,
wash
we
this
didn't even see
weekend.
that. Bring that one
whoops.
up. Sorry, Tim.
One more. There we go.
Luke Berge has his mouth shut from Hans. Troy. Sorry, a burp. Thanks, TRC crew. I'll be sure to give my G6 a good wash this weekend.
He's got a plane. He's got a
Nice.
G6
Like a
plane.
G6.
It's definitely not
like
a Pontiac.
G6.
Definitely not.
Mark Krause, what are you guys' favorite YouTube detailers? I like Jim White. I like watching Jim.
Yeah.
He's
Jim
fun.
is a class act. You meet
honestly,
that guy in person, he's so cool.
I don't watch a lot of YouTube detailers.
My favorite's Levi Gates.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
All right. I'm not going to lie. I watch a lot of detailing videos.
These guys watch more detailed
Yeah.
videos than I do. I watch
Yeah.
other stuff on YouTube.
So I will say I watch a ton of Jim White, right?
Yeah.
I actually really like watching Jim White. Another person, right, and this is that I've kind of started watching, and he kind of started getting a little bit more traction recently. White Details. There's also a Red Details.
Yes, I
Red
saw that.
Details
Yep.
is fascinating.
Now, here's
to
the deal.
watch.
Red Details gets great camera angles, has a great process. He plays the same song for 27 minutes. I can't take
Just
it.
looping it.
He just loops it over and over again. And I'm like, dude, please. I'm like, just download 3 other songs and try to mix it up at least a little bit, because I can't listen to this song anymore.
But if you mute it, it's great.
But if you mute it, it's great. Yeah, he makes great videos. I think that there is a lot of I think there's a lot of very interesting. I like watching the process of a lot of YouTube detailers. I don't like necessarily listening to YouTube detailers talk about things that
People get hung up on like the politics of it, right?
Yeah, I
and
hate
it turns
watching
into a
that.
whole thing.
I
And that
like.
gets,
I just like
ugh.
watching the process. I like
Yeah.
let's watch this happen, and let me watch what you do, because I'll pick up tips and techniques
Right.
from people all
Well,
the time.
Before we started doing our own stuff, I watched Larry a lot because he was one of the ones that was out there doing that. I used to watch some of Rennie's videos.
Yeah.
I used to watch a lot of Dylan's videos when he was with Adams as the Shine Doctor.
I love watching
Back
old
in the
Shine
day.
Doctor videos.
Fun fact, Adams pulled all the old Shine Doctor videos off of their
Are they
YouTube channel.
completely
They're
off?
not there
Yeah.
anymore.
So
That's
Maybe they have them on
unfortunate.
their like special edition DVDs or something.
Maybe.
From back.
I would buy
Uh,
those DVDs.
They did have those
Well, I'm
They-
sure like all the other special edition items, I'm sure you could find them.
probably.
on a Supreme
But
aftermarket site.
Yeah.
all right. Yeah.
Well, we didn't-
Aaron's-
okay.
Okay, go ahead, Dane. You can do
Well,
it.
I mean,
Tell
these
us-
guys.
Tell
Okay.
us, Morgan, what do you like watching?
Yeah.
I don't really have anything to add because all that I do is click on YouTube and then look at the recommended and see what pictures look fun, and then I just let it autoplay. So I don't really know who honestly I'm watching.
You know what Next Day Nate was watching today?
Hmm.
Monster Trucks.
Oh. I think
Watching
Morgan
Monster
likes
Trucks?
watching the car cleaning guru.
Who doesn't like watching
Welcome
the car
to
cleaning
another
guru?
car cleaning guru.
The most
video production.
soothing, just watch his videos and just kind of melt into like, okay, I'm in this headspace now. Okay, I can focus on whatever else I'm doing.
I can't
Just
do that.
it's
no.
it's good. It's good. But
Today
you
we're
know,
gonna
like
deep clean.
Detail Geek is great. He's become big recently. Of course, you have Stouffer and those ones where you see the
Yeah.
process kind of compressed
I-
into a time
Yeah.
frame.
That part,
It's
the-
amusing
I know,
and it
but
gets
the-
people who aren't into detail.
It's just
does.
interested.
It does.
they got too crazy though. They're finding
Oh,
dead
does,
bodies
yeah.
in the back seats now.
And that's
Yeah.
the
There's
thing I want to
rats.
address.
Here's the thing.
It sets
Disaster-
unrealistic
The
expectations.
disaster detailing videos really bother me.
Because you look at it and you go, well, I got cars like that all the time in my shop.
That was 90% of the detailing I had to do anyway because they're dealership trade-ins and repossessions.
and that is a process
that-
of
the
fighting
problem
to
is-
build
is-
atop
it
the
is.
YouTube algorithm.
It's
going,
amazing.
These keywords
It's
will get me
amazing.
way more views.
because I never in a million
Yeah.
years when I was knee-deep in these cars thought, you know what? I bet someone would find this fascinating.
if you just
watching
set a
me.
camera and time-lapsed it, think of all the views.
When I'm
you
pulling
get.
out underwear,
Yeah.
garbage,
The
half-eaten
syringes you
apples,
find.
syringes. Never in a million years did I think, you know what you should do, Levi? You should put a camera on this, record this,
Show others.
show others, because you will make a gold mine of money.
It would have been a little ahead of its time because
Never in a million years.
now is when it's all happening.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I
I was
you
just
notice-
5 years too late.
You see the trends, and that's kind of the hard part is everybody starts to kind of, oh, well, that did well. I have to copy
Let's
that
go
now.
find a
and then
car in the woods.
Like the running joke for the last year was
Yeah, I know.
probably mimicking the
She texted me.
thumbnails you would see from those videos, and they do the same quadrants with the black
Who?
or the white
My mom.
dividers and the text
She's
in the
here?
middle. And everybody did
Enchilada?
the same
No, she's not here.
thumbnail with like a slight variation. I thought that was funny as someone who does all of our thumbnails and does all this stuff. I'm like, if I just made like a joke version of that thumbnail just to see if people would click on it more, I bet they would. But you know what? The people who do it right, it's effective, and I can't blame them for it. They're savvy, and it's
Basically-
fun to see.
Dane, it's just going to continue getting crazier and
Yeah.
crazier. Have you ever seen the movie The Other Guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Right, with Dirty Mike and the boys,
and for the bushes.
and the raccoon placenta. They're going
Oh,
to detail
what?
that Prius next, right? They're going to say, we found all sorts of things in this car.
Yeah.
There was a letter from Dirty Mike and the boys. There was an old cell phone. There was the thing that looks like a pair of lips.
Oh,
and then
I found all that stuff.
We call that a soup kitchen. Moving
I
on.
found all that.
Moving
before.
on.
All right, Luke Berge says, I realize this is the fun app, but I just want to say what was leather cleaner is on a whole other level. I've never had a leather conditioner soften leather as much as what was. You're welcome.
it's probably the
That's
one
what
of
we
the
love
most
about it, dude.
underrated things in the line as of right now
Yeah.
because people need to get their hands on it and use it more. It's
Yeah.
it's an insane leather conditioner.
Han says, no law to Aaron's random life. So what it was Aaron said, is Dr. G leaving Optimum next? What gives?
No, he
No.
is Optimum.
He is Optimum. He's back at the helm.
Yeah.
And he is doing a little bit of restructuring, but that's because he wants to try and figure out the fastest, best way for the company to work.
Yeah.
Luke says, I will say that it is a harder product to use than most when it comes to leather conditioner, but when it comes to the finished product, it's by far worth it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Rectangle, just like those people that bash Brakebuster because it won't clean their wheels without agitation. Correct. You got to agitate it. Kyle
Speaking
Henderson
of
says,
agitations.
fun fact, while we were at that training at Rupes, my wife texted me photos of her freshly cleaned car, and
Oh,
she had
wow.
cleaned it all by herself with O&R and topped with Beatmaker.
Heck yeah.
This happened
Amazing.
during the Beatmaker presentation. I was so proud.
Oh.
Kyle,
Wow. Great.
your wife?
Yeah.
ah, beautiful, beautiful. Love it. John Hole says Amanda sat here laughing her head off. We hope you guys are having fun. Seriously, we love you guys. It's awesome. Enjoy New York. Rectangle, same. I'm thinking about buying a Mark IV Supra. All I see is a great investment for the future. Just pull from your 401k.
They're
Yeah,
still going
if
up,
you
but
can-
there's got to be a point, kind of like air-cooled Porsches, where it starts
Dude,
to
I
like,
don't know,
cool
man.
down.
It went from I'm talking like
It's generational.
It
though.
went from
like, it's
50,000
our
to
generation.
80,000 in like just a couple years,
That's
and
crazy. It's
for
crazy.
for clean, it's just insane. So
I think it's like the muscle car boom. It's gonna taper off at a certain point.
let me
Once
know when
we
it does.
become like 50 or 60 years old, it's all gonna back to the next thing. whatever that is.
Rectangle says same. I'm thinking about. Luke Berge says I have 2 more YouTube videos. Videoed, just failing on the editing. Luke, we believe in you. Vigor. Auto Detailing says number 1 question of the podcast: will Dane ever find that one car to make him settle down and start a family?
Oh no.
I know there are plenty of fish out there, but will there be that one one that his heart cannot? So basically,
He has that already. It's
Well-
called a C-Max.
no, it's called Liz.
Liz is not a car.
No.
No,
Contrary to popular
but
belief,
you
not a
do
car.
have to get.
He's got Liz, and he's got a C-Max. Perfect
Yeah.
for a car seat. It'll hold many
Honestly,
car seats.
very reasonable.
Two of
Great
them.
gas mileage.
ready for kids.
When Dane gets the Montero,
That C-Max is like feed me full of car seats.
perfect. Yeah.
Oh no.
The
Yeah.
Montero will also be able to hold many car
Whoa!
seats.
Spoiler alert.
Oh,
The
jeez.
Bronco that he's going to purchase.
Honestly, dude,
The Jaguar will also hold a car seat when in a pinch.
I am upset
needed.
that Dane is not interested in getting a Bronco with some type of loudspeaker.
A loudspeaker.
Don't get
like
me
a
wrong.
couple,
I
couple
am
bases.
interested,
Couple
but
bass
no one's
bumpers.
gonna trade me for that
A
straight
bazooka.
across.
A bazooka bump. Thing.
Well, Dane, you
Sub
put yourself in that predicament when you got the Sport Track. Of course, nobody's going to trade you straight.
It's a
for
grandpa truck. There's limited appeal.
that. Yeah, Dane, and you were all about it.
Fun
I
fact, I
am,
sent Dane
and
lots
I'm
of pictures
bored.
of really well done sport tracks, and he ignored all of them. He was like, don't know what you're talking. I don't know what that
I
is.
found this Montero. It's already lifted. It's got cool wheels. It's like, okay, here we
Yep,
go.
there we
Straight
go.
across trade.
We'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
I
Andy
think we
White
need to
says,
s-
can't wait to
Oh,
see
yeah.
them, Luke. And then John Holt, I know you guys enjoyed the Hard Rock, but didn't you enjoy the Smith & Western more?
So,
Nothing,
honestly,
nothing like a Dutch girl
surreal experience.
nothing,
Speaking-
dressed as a cowboy.
dressed as a cowboy,
Wait,
cowgirl.
I
Yeah.
thought she was Eastern European of some.
Something.
Dutch.
It was something. I don't know
Yeah.
what she was.
Trying to speak with a
Accent was
Texas accent.
hilarious.
It was
John-
amazing. It was
John-
amazing, John. That was so much fun.
John,
Yeah.
the fact that you're like, I think you'll feel right at home here, and we walk in,
And they're playing
and
Old Town
they're
Road.
They're playing Old Town Road, and I look over at the tap, and I'm like, no way. On tap there, their finest beers of Budweiser, Coors Original, and I think
Banquet
Bud Light, right? I think, and they also had
They
PBR.
had like Fat Tire, I think,
No,
too, didn't they?
I think they had Fat
Blue
Tire,
Moon,
and
I
they
think?
they
Yeah.
had PBR and Blue Moon. But I'm
That was
sitting
the most
here,
adventurous one.
Every
they had.
beer in the
and
U.S.
I'm like, that must feel so exotic to them. Like, I'm gonna go down to the Smith and Western and get myself a Budweiser. And I'm sitting
King
here.
of beers.
The
I'm like,
stools were saddles with like fake
So fun.
fur on them.
So
it was
fun.
ridiculous.
It
I
was
loved
a great
That was
time.
a great night.
Yeah.
I
I
had
love
so
that.
much fun. G. Davis, we need more Luke Berge videos. Can't wait for the Hans collab.
Oh yeah.
Vigor Auto Detailing. Dang, it won't let me post the rest.
Aw.
G. Davis said something horrific.
Oh, my goodness.
gosh. It's been a long time since he's done that. Andy White, Dane, is it too soon to start nagging about when that Jag Venture trip will come out?
Funny enough, I started working on it.
Dane's
this
working
week.
on that. Fun fact, that is not a TRC production. That is a Great Dane Show production, meaning Dane has to do that in his off time. So
Yeah, I stay late and I work on it, but I'm going to be putting it on the podcast channel when I release
Oh,
it because
very nice.
I have a new idea for the podcast channel. The
I like
podcasts are one thing, and then in addition, we'll include other cool
He's
behind-the-scenes
like,
content
he's
on
like,
that channel.
The podcast channel also hosts my own family videos and my own personal
These are
content.
don't you have a YouTube channel
We're
called
like-
Great Dane?
I do, but
Or
I'm
the
trying
Dane
not to
Show?
draw too
He's
much
like-
attention.
He's got the Dane Show.
Well,
Oh,
he's
you
like,
don't wanna
he's
draw
like,
attention
yeah, but he's
to
like,
your
but I've already
channel?
built the podcast audience, so I already have a captive audience
Yeah.
to watch my videos.
My personal channel has 28 subscribers.
Really?
It's not really worth.
Wow. Master of Shine, almost 150.
Well, the
Levi,
difference is I don't
Did you know
advertise
that your
it
mom
on
is
here.
down-
I did.
Downstairs?
Yeah.
Aw.
She texted me and said, are you at work? And I,
I
said, I'm
just
live
saw
on
her.
YouTube. What are you doing?
Oh,
So-
man.
I'm
I
going to go
just-
talk to my mom. You guys
Okay.
have fun.
We'll
I'm
carry on.
I'm Dane. I'm hoping that there's more family videos
Oh, man.
from your side posted on the Ride Company podcast channel.
Why would I do that to
Because
other
it needs
people?
it. Ian Musgrove says, hey guys, if someone hands you a random microfiber towel how do you tell if it's a good one or not? Like, how do you tell if it's 80-20 or 70-30 or if it's Chinese or Korean?
Good question.
That's actually a great question. So first off, if there's a tag on it, my first thing to do would be look at the tag, see if there's anything about the blend on there. If there's not a tag on there, look at the edges.
I also give an automatic demerit for having a tag.
Yeah, I was
Correct.
gonna say, I
You're
don't know.
you're right. But there are 80-20 towels that
Yeah.
have tags on them that will work just fine.
Yeah.
But take a look at the edge work. See what kind of edge it has on it. Does it have an overlock stitch edge? Does it have a satin edge? Does it have a suede edge? Does it feel pretty nice?
Do those overlock stitch borders, if it has one, come to a point at all four corners, or does it only come to a point at one where it continues rounding the edges going to one point?
So there's only one failure point. So
That's a higher quality towel.
That would be a high quality towel. I would say if it's edgeless, that might be I wouldn't say that would make it a high quality towel, but you can feel around the edges. If the edges feel crispy or burnt or feel sharp, then chances are it probably was a low quality cut or a low quality ultrasonic cut. So that would be one way, and then other way to just feel the towel. Is it really grabby? Does it kind of grab your hand and feel not good? Because the thing is grabbiness is a characteristic of a closed loop microfiber towel, meaning it'll grab, and that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. But there are certain towels out there that are...
It's the more common method for cheaper towels is to use a closed loop construction.
Yeah, and then,
but that does not mean it's bad.
No, so maybe pour some water on it. See how well it absorbs. Does it just roll off?
That is a big thing. You couldn't tell what blend it is just by feeling it. You could have a hunch, but you wouldn't be able to know for sure. However, if you do soak it in like a bowl of water, if it absorbs water, it does have some polyamide in it. If it doesn't absorb water, like if you spray water on something and you go to wipe it, it just pushes it around. It's probably a very high polyester content towel. There's probably not a lot of polyamide in it.
Yeah. Rectangle says Chromatic Auto Detailing has great content. Yes, he does. Mike makes awesome stuff.
Yeah.
He does use the Woes line. Luke Berge says, when's my Gauntlet blanket being shipped? Luke,
it doesn't exist.
Keep dreaming. G. Davis says, I have my fingers crossed for Hans and Luke when the Q&A Hall of Fame voting results are released. I think we're all excited for that. Maybe that'll be our next survey. Luke Berge says, did anyone notice the OG post made when he adds O&R in his foam cannon? Where he adds O&R in his... Who adds? Is it... Oh, crap. Who are you talking about? What?
Sorry,
anyways,
I'm lost.
Sorry. G. Davis would need you to join. Rectangle says, it's going to be like the R34. It's going to get up in like the 100K.
The Mark IV Supra Turbo with the 6-speed manual, the R34, especially in V-Spec trim, certain specific ones like that will certainly go for a much higher value. But an automatic Mark IV with super high miles and kind of a busted, like a naturally aspirated one, stuff like that, that may be popular as a platform for somebody to modify, but I doubt you would see those go above maybe 70 to a crazy person.
Yeah. But because, anyways, Hans Closen says, dear Lord, the tube will break down with a low lab like that.
I think it means collab.
I think he means LOL lab.
Low lab.
Lol lab.
Lol lab.
Luke Berge says, so I replaced my injector O-rings on my truck, but we screwed something up, so now the coolant system is majorly pressurized. It idled for 10 seconds, and when I cracked the cap, something fountains shooting antifreeze.
Yeah, you're not supposed to open that when the vehicle's running.
Yeah, Luke, it says don't open while this is running. It literally says that right on the cap.
It's a warning.
Scroll down.
Oop, please scroll down, Tim. Look down below Luke there after the radiator cap bit. Okay. Oh, I'm seeing some funny stuff.
G. Davis says, even when I got to see the... Okay, hold on. Here we go. So, Rectangle says, this podcast was sponsored by the Dane Show. Yes, it was.
Oh, my. Please don't look at that channel.
Luke Berge says, I honestly can't believe I never even got to see the famous M3 when I was in Boise. Morgan, you didn't drive it?
Oh, my. That's right. Well, he was here the wrong time of year.
It was raining.
Yeah.
So?
You do drive in the rain sometimes, though.
You drive in the rain?
What?
No, I don't, because then it means I have to wash it.
Oh, I see. G. Davis says, reference the Anthony fragrance. Did I see correctly on the Facebook group that the fragrance made a woman vomit and then it also impregnated her? Immaculate. Yes. No, you're not wrong.
She was already pregnant and the smell made her vomit. That's the truth.
Not confirmed, Dane. We don't know that at all. that fragrance could have made her pregnant. We have no idea. So that's up for debate. Luke Berge says, I was trying to get a hold of YouTube celebrity all day, Anthony, because I heard he lives in Boise, but I couldn't get a hold of him. Dang, Luke, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, he must have been out of town. Vigor Auto Detailing says, Dane, what would it take to get you to have facial handlebars, also known as chops?
So he just wants me to like shave this part and then just have these big old chops hanging down. Yeah, I don't feel like that's really me.
Luke Berge says, or somehow be like my eagle and literally effectively be able to use them as a bag to hold water. Hans got that video. Wow. I don't know.
Grammatically, I'm a little lost here.
We got Alkaline Top Hat, also
hello.
known as Alkaline Trio, says, suggestion for the weekly show. Never have I ever detailing edition. Ooh, I like that.
Good call there. Yeah. That's a fun
Should we
one.
drink to that? Do we eat to that? Do we laugh? Do we cry?
Both. All of the above.
Okay. Frank Wonder is wondering something. Hi, how can I best suggest to my girlfriend that she... Well, I guess I can say it. We're in the weird half. How can he suggest that she shave her chest hair? A low-cut dress in a formal event is coming. Frank, you just gotta shave it for her while she's sleeping.
That sounds like borderline crime.
No, it's not. Alkaline Trio says,
personal space.
Alternatively,
is a sacred
truth or dare. I thought that said truth or Dane. Truth or dare detailing edition.
I mean, I like that. For
Dane,
sure.
you would look so BA, says Vigor.
I
Now,
appreciate that.
You would look harder. I could obviously see you on a high-class motorcycle, such as a Harley Softail. Okay, maybe not. Maybe something
I like
harder
the Suzuki
than that.
SV650.
Dane, that is not going to do you any good.
No, it's not.
Not with a handlebar
maybe
mustache.
a Valkyrie.
We got KM coming in here with the question of the hour. Blue IK Alki?
Loves him some blue
Alki.
IK Alki.
He's an Alki guy, dude. Alkaline Trio says, do a shot of O&R when you refuse to answer. Jeez. You get really sick.
I don't
probably.
recommend that. I don't recommend that.
13 minutes left on this wild and crazy Q&A where things are getting...
Well, while we wait for some more
off-topic.
comments and questions to spool up,
I thought we weren't doing that anymore.
So I'm you know what? We're so close to it, though. I say we keep going. In this case, I feel like this is a good time. I saw some great comments on Reddit, some great questions. And this is something where I think you can both weigh in on it. Somebody was saying that they put in basically a car. They wanted to get it PPF'd, and they took it to a guy, and they did the job on it, but they didn't wrap the edges. And he wanted to know if that's considered normal or if that's considered like a hack thing to do, not to wrap the edges, or what the expectations are when you go in. Is he expecting too much? That kind of thing. He said he was paying about $4,000. He goes, is this more of a $10,000 job if I'm going to have the edges wrapped? He wanted to know.
Gotcha. You're asking me.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if the edges weren't wrapped, I mean, maybe there's a couple things. Maybe it was a template cut, meaning that it wasn't a full-on, hand cut to where you are wrapping around edges or you are compensating for that extra bit of material to do that. I mean, if it was a template, typically the templates are cut shorter, so there is obviously not any fitment issues there, but they are covering less of the area. So, sometimes the thing is, though, too, is sometimes when you wrap an edge, sometimes the edges lift. Like I just saw a job the other day where I was looking at the hood and I was like, oh, is this hood? I'm like, oh, it was wrapped, right? You can't tell because it looks very seamless.
Right.
But then I saw that an edge had lifted, and I'm like, this edge lifted over here. And now it's all contaminated underneath, so you'd have to either cut that away and call it good or eventually redo it. So, I don't know. That would be my
I
thoughts.
just know some people absolutely hate seeing seams with PPF, and I get that. And, if you're using, like, a wax and you get it kind of smudged in there or something like that, yeah, it shows. But, okay, we got some more stuff here. Let's go with that.
All right, so do a shot of... Okay, so Vigor Oddity says, do it, then take a picture like the one Levi has, all serious face. Frank says she would notice. She takes pride in them. G. Davis says, I want a Dane-only TRC show called The Finer Things. Lifestyle, high-end Boise dining, and helpful office and home tips. I would die for that, Dane.
You would find it to be a very short
Dane,
show.
like, I could see you going to high-class places such as Jack in the Box.
Hello and welcome to my chaise lounge.
In Jack in the Box, yeah. Where you can do
I
reviews.
had one personally placed in the corner of my local Jack in the Box.
In this week's review of Dane's Monster Taco at Jack in the Box, he dives in to the extra cheese and jalapeno.
Whoa, keep up, fam. It's all about the mini tacos now.
They have mini tacos at Jack
mini
in the Box? No, they
now.
don't.
They do. It's the same tacos,
no,
but they're tiny.
they do not
true.
have
They
that.
do. Yep.
That sounds amazing, but I gave up fast food for a year, so that's not going to be happening anytime soon. All right, so we got Frank says a feminist pride type thing. Luke Berge says, my eagles have become so hydrophobic, you can literally hold water in it, almost like a bag. That's amazing. I mean, not good, but that's cool.
What have you been putting on them?
Aaron's random, probably Beatmaker. Aaron's Random Life says, wrapping the edge is a way to hide poor workmanship.
Now, that's an
one way to
interesting
look at it.
perspective
That's
because
one
a
way to
lot
look
of
at it.
people I've seen would think the opposite. They would think it's an example of class workmanship. But that's interesting. I'm not saying one way or the other. I just find that interesting. So what would you say to that? Why do you feel that way about it? I'm wondering. Alkaline Top Hat. Detailing makes money, and money gets taxed, so therefore this is relevant. Make sure you check out the IRS free file options this year. Just filed my federal and state taxes for free. Excellent point, Alkaline Top Hat. If you're getting tax service done, you don't have to go with like the software stuff you always see out there. There are free options out there, and just because it's free doesn't mean you're going to get screwed over. It doesn't work. I did mine through Credit Karma, and it actually worked great for me last year, so
Did you?
may end up doing that again.
Well,
Yeah. Any rate, Wrecked Fodl. Just subscribe to the Dane Show. He has great content. Oh no, here we go.
he does. I actually really like his
no.
earlier content. Yeah, go far.
Oh.
G. Davis says, Jag in the Box. Dane, Dane, I do have a question for you. Have you eaten Jack in the Box inside the Jag? Be honest.
Yes.
Like, how many times?
5 times?
You've eaten Jack in the Box about 5 times in the Jag. Tacos or like a burger?
Both.
Fries?
Yep.
Are you a sourdough Jack kind of guy, or what kind of burger are you kind of guy?
Do a little sourdough, maybe sometimes an ultimate bacon cheeseburger.
Oh,
perhaps. Yeah,
Dane,
mixing it up.
man,
Yep.
you dog. You're sitting there, you're getting grease all over those hands, and you're touching that steering wheel.
See, that's the thing, though. I keep, I have napkins,
A
and I've
towelette.
got hand sanitizer and wet wipes around. So, I'm going to keep my hands relatively clean before I go touching any of the fine leather, bits in the Jag. I'm not going to mess it up. And if I drop something, I pick it up then and there. I don't wait for it later like, oh, whoops, forgot this whole taco a week ago. That's gross.
Yeah.
That is gross.
We got Vigor Auto Detailing says, is it just me, or does Morgan look like she doesn't want to be there?
Oh.
Based off of Morgan, what are you doing over there? What have you been working on?
You guys remember in middle school when you would have the gum wrappers and you could peel the shiny part off? It's really hot in here. I did notice
It's
that,
very
and now
warm.
that is why I don't want to be here, because I walked out and then came back in and it's a freaking sauna in here and I don't like it.
Dane.
This is hot. What? No.
Okay, everybody's basically gone. Someone open this door. Get a
Yeah,
little wind.
that's all right.
All right, where are we?
G. Davis says, Luke, don't tie your towels in a bag shape. That might help.
That's true. It's
That
hard
would
to
help.
hard to carry water with those. Rectangle's wondering where the famous Morgan yawn is.
Oh.
Morgan, can you hit us with one?
There we go.
Nice.
Jamie the Cleaner's laughing. Boss Auto Detailing. Dane, please get a Jag belt like in the Grand Tour.
I like that idea.
Aaron's Random Life, because trimming doesn't have to be precise when you wrap the edge, combined with the fact that wrapped edges are more likely to peel. Gerald Rodriguez, that yawn happened by Anthony. Let's wrap this up and take a nap, guys.
I think saying yawn or reading
Yeah.
yawn made me yawn.
Yeah.
That's what'll make it happen.
Aaron's Random Life, OEM PPF, which is covered by the manufacturer's warranty, as in the stuff you buy at the dealer, which is warranted by the OEM, never wraps on the edge. You're right, Aaron, because a lot of dealerships, when they're selling the PPF, it's all about efficiency.
Yeah.
So what they do is they create patterns of known vehicle brands, which allow the PPFer to install very fast, rapidly, and be able to make a good profit, because most of the time, a wholesale price, at least in Idaho, is about $400 for a nose. Just the quarter bra or whatever it is.
Yeah. The reason he's talking about that is because I actually raised the question of PPF wrapping the edges or not based on a Reddit thread I saw. And he said that he thought PPF wrapping the edges was a sign of poor workmanship as opposed to
No.
good
So,
workmanship.
nope. So that's the thing a lot of people don't understand. So you want to wrap those PPF edges especially when you're doing custom cuts.
Well,
Or
because the
custom-
guy in the thread, his whole thing was he expected the edges to be wrapped,
do
and
expect
he
the edges
thought
to be wrapped.
when the wrapper told him, "Oh, we don't do that," he was taken aback by it, and they thought, "Am I expecting too much?
No.
I'm paying $4,000. Is that a
Nope,
$10,000
it depends
thing?"
on the company. So it depends on who's faster at it. Some companies, they just want to knock out patterns. It's easier for them to teach patterns to their employees. It's much faster. It just goes down to a detail and efficiency thing. Now, if you want to request that you have full custom cut and they're not doing patterns, then by all means, like Anthony, if you were going to have the front end of the Evo wrapped, would you go with a pattern or would you ask to be a full custom
I want
cut?
a full custom cut on there.
Right. You would make sure because you're like, I want to put the money into this.
Yeah.
So, and like we had that Ford GT that Lupo wrapped
Yeah.
and did a full PPF. They don't make a pattern for that. That whole thing was a full custom job.
I think I've seen. Does Tony Kiger have like guides for like wrapping?
Nope.
Or is that just coding stuff?
Nope. That's
No.
just
Okay.
that's a vehicle inspection form.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
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 All right. So Jamie the cleaner is in. I don't know where we're at here.
We're
Looks
up at
like-
Jamie there,
Join in though. Thumbs up. Looks like we missed one, Dane.
as in YouTube. What?
There's one above that. All right, me and Bergie about to start the TRC Q&A family network. We need some more to join in though. Thumbs up.
Oh.
Jamie the Cleaner as in a YouTube channel. I like this TRC Q&A family network
Yeah.
for
man.
family home movies.
Same.
Caliber Detailing, as what software do you use for scheduling and record keeping of customers' cars that you've done in the past? So Caliber, when I was doing that, I just used QuickBooks at the time. However, nowadays, there's plenty of programs, specifically like
Zenware Road
Zenware's
FS.
Road FS.
Yeah.
Great software where you can actually do scheduling, you can do billing, you can do invoicing, everything right there from your smartphone, and be able to get everything handled very simply, very easily. There's lots of other companies. Your Able's one that's working on some stuff. There's a ton of different companies. Now, all of them do charge a fee.
Yeah. It ain't going to be free unless you want to design something yourself.
But again, QuickBooks isn't free either.
No.
So you pay for QuickBooks.
It's nice to have something that's designed for that purpose, though.
Yes,
So.
exactly. So lots of different programs. If I did it now, I'm just back to a paper invoice
Yeah.
because I'm not doing anything major. And some people just want that. But if I was to create it as a business again, I would just go mobile on that with the Road FS program. Frank Wonder, do turkeys have knees? No idea, Frank.
Huh.
Don't know what that's in regards to. I've got my foot in a trash can. Aaron's Random Life, but that's not to be confused with PPF that your dealer hired a subcontractor to install. All bets are off. But genuine Toyota factory PPF kits never wrap edges. Correct. Now, Aaron, that is, again, like I said, they're all kits, and especially dealerships, they're wanting to get it as cheap as possible. Their wholesale price that they're willing to pay somebody is usually anywhere from $400 to $500, sometimes even $200, depending on the area if there's a lot of PPF installers.
Yeah.
So they have to go fast. And if you can get a kit done in less than an hour, it's killer money. If you can get it done in less than 3 hours, you're still making great money.
True.
So they'll do kits, but the point is the dealership wants to make money off of that. So they're going to sell it to the customer for $2,000.
Yeah.
They're going to pay $400. They're going to sell it for $2,000.
Yeah.
So they're not worried. The customer's paying for a clear bra. They don't need to know that the edges are wrapped or not. Half the time, most people don't even notice it.
Yeah.
If I was
So-
going to PPF it myself, I would like to wrap the edges just because I don't like seeing seams. But that's just me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what I did with Brandon McComb and Manuel Evans when we did the Jag before I drove up here, was wrap the edges just to make sure nothing came off. It was a very temporary thing. It wasn't
Right. Well, and
meant to be a long-term.
But if
Yeah.
I was to wrap a new car, I would do a full frontal wrap. I would do hood, fenders,
Full
front bumper.
I would always do full frontal.
I love full frontal. It's one of my
Yeah.
favorite things to do to people.
Yeah.
Thought-provoking.
Alkaline, Top Hat, have you guys planned or booked any collabs with other people in the car detailing industry this year?
Yeah. I mean, Columbia. We
Super
are
Dry.
Super
I think
Dry.
he means more like we oftentimes will find like Adam LZ or Tavares or somebody where we go and do stuff.
Yes.
He doesn't want to talk
So
about it.
we haven't planned any of those yet. We are going to be at the G-Technic Serum Summit this year.
Collab. Yeah.
Yep.
We will be at the Detailer's Domain collab event. You guys can come see us. We will be at Waxstock this year. We will be at Monterey. And again, we will be at SEMA. And then we are planning on possibly heading to Auto Mechanica. As to who of us will be going, we don't know yet. But those trips do usually invite the ability to create these collaborated videos that we do with others. And so we are working on that stuff.
In years past, a lot of times, we'll set up those things fairly last minute, honestly.
Yep.
Like, when we meet up with people, like the first year we went and hung out with Adam LZ, that kind of worked out that way. It was just last minute, but
I'm going to blast through because it's almost time to get out of here.
Oh, yeah.
Troy Brueggemann, is that Red Bull I see in the fridge? Best energy drink? Nope. G. Davis, bummed Levi's mom didn't jump in. I had some questions. I'm sure you did there, G. Dane loves Red Bull. That's why I bought those for him. Alkaline Top Hat, will the new podcast studio have a cooling solution package to prevent the sauna effect? Yes.
Yeah.
It does have that. Vigor Auto Detailing. G. Davis, no, she is not single. She is single. Just so you know. Hans Closen, stop yawning. It's almost 1 a.m. here. Go to bed, Hans. George Zapata Morgan, we love you.
Oh,
That was very nice of you, George. Aaron's Random Life. To be clear, the edges are wrapped on all 3 of my vehicles. 2 were intended to be custom cut. 1 was intended to be a kit. 1 company did 2 cars. Another did the 3rd. But I still disagree. After my experience, I feel precisely cut edge job shows better workmanship, and was referring to the PPF that Toyota sells directly and that they warranty. Luke Berge, look up Wave Accounting. It's free and works amazing, actually. Been doing it for years. Great post there,
all
Luke.
right. Yeah.
Jamie the Cleaner, trying hard to get Ricky C to start the channel. Also would love to see what G. Davis does in his driveway every week. Lol.
Would you, though?
G says nobody wants to see that, Jamie. Vigor says something about
no.
a Jag. That's what G. Davis does.
Oh, no.
Hans, Jamie the Cleaner, let's put that in the next TRC family poll. Aaron's Random Life. Lastly, to conclude, I will say cut edges are more dangerous as contractor hired to do my Tacoma at the dealer. Slip when cutting the film and cut the paint on my front bumper. Staring as a nightmare. G. Davis, I'll see you at MTE, Levi. I will see you too, brother. Alkaline Top Hat. G. Davis runs a lemonade stand in his driveway that sells O&R with sugar. G. Davis, that's very close to the truth. It sounds delicious. Aaron says, have a great night, folks. Later. And Han says, speed reading with Levi.
All right. That's it, folks.
Woo! All right,
we
guys.
are out.
This
We
has
love
been
you
great.
guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for sticking through to the very end. See you, Morgan.
She's got an appointment. All
As
right.
all, and there goes Anthony. He's
They're
out
all
too.
leaving.
All right, guys. You can pick up that great shirt that Anthony's wearing, the Wowo's t-shirt from theragcompany.com,
Yes.
and you can pick up all our great products there. Thank you to everybody who comes in and actually listens to this podcast.
We really
do live.
appreciate it. And
Means a lot.
contributing. Leave
Yeah.
a comment, leave a
Yeah.
question. We love that. So much appreciated. I want to make sure before we go, I left it in the comments, fill out those surveys. They're still out there. If you
That's
haven't
right.
done it already, make sure you take a couple minutes, fill that out. The other thing is you had those videos talking all about microfiber with Mark Perch that we
Yeah,
released
check
recently.
that one out. It's
Go
good
check them
stuff.
out. 2-part series. And you'll learn a lot.
It's a deep dive
Yeah.
dive into the microfiber.
And I put links to many other deep dives we've done in the
Wonderful.
comments to those. So
Nice.
that covers everybody. From here, we're out.
See you guys.